everyone, I'm Autobot Sonic, the Telltale Gamer, and I want to wish all of you a very happy new year. I hope your 2026 is better than your 2025 was. And now today I have a very, very special guest. As someone, you know me as been a huge fan of EarthSpark the past few years, covering the show in its entirety up until the end. This absolutely means the world to me as someone who's been a big, huge fan of EarthSpark. So I would like to please everyone give a warm welcome to Miss Dot Malto herself, Benni Latham. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's truly an honor to engage with folks like you.
Of course, and this is just a dream come true for me because ever since I first saw the first episode of EarthSpark 3 years ago, Dot is a character that I have related to just absolutely immensely. I've fallen in love with her story and how devoted she is to her family and friends. It really speaks to me as someone who also has a very loving, caring mother like her.
Oh, beautiful to hear. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Dot is a dream come true. Excuse me for your fans who are listening. I have a cold, so if I sound all gravelly and gross, it's because tis the season. What can you do?
Oh no, I totally understand. You are totally fine in that regards.
Thank you. Dot is a gift, a childhood dream come true of mine. I've been I wanted to be a voice actor ever since I was a small child and could read credits. And I couldn't have asked for a better first series to be part of than Transformers EarthSpark. I'm truly grateful.
And I would say you've done an amazing job for your first animated series.
Thank you so much.
So you actually just went ahead and answered my first question I had for you, was what made you decide to want to pursue a career as an actor. But so we'll move on to the next one now. So were there any life experiences you had growing up in your hometown that sort of drove also towards your love of wanting to act and such?
That's a really good question. I think I don't think I've ever been asked that. Hometown stuff. I think the fact that I come from a family of amateur comedians, I have a really funny extended family, and they're very quick-witted, and oftentimes we entertained ourselves, before we had things like the internet and cable.
Yeah.
Story time was always a fun time because I came from a family that did all the voices. In some instances, they would act it out. And so growing up with a family that encouraged a lot of big imagination stuff allowed me to see myself in that field. And what really rammed it home for me was when I saw watching Transformers 1 all day, loved it, mean it. But Inspector Gadget, I don't know if you know that show.
Oh my god, I loved Inspector Gadget as a kid, literally. So I watched a few episodes of the original series, but I think my favorite memories of it was I had the original movies on VHS. The second one specifically, I watched that so many times as a child.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay, because when I say that, usually people go, and they don't know what that is.
No, I loved Inspector Gadget. It's been at least 15 years or so since I've seen it last, but I used to love it as a child.
Oh, I loved it too, and I was in love with the character Penny because I saw myself in that character. I wanted to be the cool, smart kid with the computer book that solved the crime.
Oh my god.
He's voiced by Cree Summer.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, when Cree Summer was a little girl, her father, the late great John Franks, got her into voice acting. Viva la nepotism.
Yeah.
And she said it herself. I'm not being messy.
No, I understand.
But when I listened to Penny as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to be that. And then when I was old enough to read and I read the credits, I saw Cree Summer and I was like, oh my gosh, there are grown-ups that do this. There are people that do this for a living. Holy crap, I want to do this myself. And little by little, I started taking theater classes. I took improv classes at the Groundlings. I took improv classes at Upright Citizens Brigade. I took proper voice acting classes at a studio in Burbank. I really threw myself into it because I really wanted to give myself the best chance.
Absolutely.
And I was just discovered in a class and signed to an agent. And during the pandemic, I got the audition for EarthSpark, and it wasn't called EarthSpark. It was called Hometown Heroes.
Which, fun fact is, that's the name of the first finale episode, which is, I clocked that immediately. When I was at I was at TFCon Baltimore myself 2 years ago, and I actually got to meet.
Did you see
Yes,
my,
I got to.
baby?
Yes, I got to see them there. They actually recorded a little in-character messages Nightshade for me for my channel. It was so sweet getting to meet them.
That is so them. They are the sweetest. I got a chance to panel with them during TFCon LA, and that is
they are such a sweet person.
They are, and that is such a proving ground for a lot of folks. So the fact that they came there and they were so like loved and appreciated, because I was ready to fight. I was ready to throw hands about my baby.
Oh my
I don't play about my kids.
Yeah, you're so protective. I love that about you. It was so sweet. It was when EarthSpark was just finishing its first season. One of the character designers of the show, who's Nick Roche, he's done work on the various Transformers comics. He was selling like a huge print he made of the entire like Autobots cast here. I'm holding up it, but so I got Z to sign it right under there with Nightshade, and I'm hoping there's Dot right there if you can see her next to Alex and Twitch. I would love to.
In the corner.
Yeah,
I love that.
no, Fluffy is there. So yeah, it's so cute. And
I love that.
I'm hoping my
so
dream one day is to hopefully get this signed by everyone in the EarthSpark cast.
Well, if you send it to me, I'll sign it and send it.
Oh
back.
my god, that would be so great. Thank you so much for that.
Message me after. We'll do the particulars. It would be my honor to sign it. Add my name.
On top of that, I got this one little picture of him, Thrash, my beloved. Thrash is always, him and Jawbreaker are like the Terrans I relate to the most, so it means the world to me, and he's just, I love it so much. And then this last one I got this at TFCon too. An artist was there making a lot of art. This incredible piece of our beloved Megatron here with Dot. It's kind of hard to see with the reflection of the protective film, but Dot's right here on the bottom here.
Oh, that is, I want that one.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Please send me their information.
Absolutely. They have their contact info on the back here. I can give that to you.
Please. I would love to buy a print. I've kind of become like the scrapbooking mom, and I get prints from people, and I've had some prints commissioned. I had one commissioned where it's this little girl sitting in front of the TV eating cereal, and it's Dot on the TV.
Oh, that's really cute.
That one's kind of like my story. I grew up watching it, and now I get to do it, and it's just And awesome. A really cool fan of the show made this really amazing print of Dot and Megatron kind of side by side. It's very
I love seeing how many people are like creative in the Transformers art community, especially with EarthSpark. Seeing every time I go to a con and see stuff about the Maltos, Terrans, just any EarthSparks in general, I'm like, oh, it makes me so happy to see that. For a series that's only been around for like almost 5 years at this point, it's great to see it get as much love as any of the original stuff as well.
It's hard to believe it's been 5 years.
It's crazy. Yeah, next year will be the 5-year anniversary of EarthSpark. Can you believe it?
No, ew, I don't grow up. That's gross.
Oh my god. I still remember to this day, I was my first time seeing EarthSpark. I was at New York Comic Con 2022, and they were hosting a little sneak peek panel at EarthSpark there. They had the whole Nickelodeon has a booth there at the show floor every year, but that year was all EarthSpark themed. They had giant cardboard cutouts of I believe it was Bumblebee, Twitch, Thrash, Robbie, and Mo, and then they had little you take pictures with them. They even had and in the panel it was Robbie and Mo's voice actors, Sidney Michaela and Zion Broadnax. Sissy Jones, Alita's voice actress, and Dietrich Bader from Android, and it was so
nice.
great.
Dietrich is the nicest person. He's so kind. All of them are kind, but Dietrich, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, he was at the panel. He was absolutely so kind, so answering all the Q&As from people. You mentioned earlier that Cree Summer was a big inspiration to you back as Penny in the Inspector Gadget days. So isn't it crazy though that going forward that she would eventually end up voicing Alita / Black Arachnia in Transformers Animated just a few years later, huh?
It's like being part of the coolest club ever. I've met so many amazing Transformers voice actors. I got a chance to panel with Greg Berger, who's from the G1 series.
Yes.
Fred Tatasciore voiced the Quintesson judges. If I'm not mistaken.
The Executioners. Yeah,
the Executioners. Thank you, not the judge.
That was Betsy Sodero, I think, voiced the judge.
Yes, who is funny because I think she was in Steven Universe. She was one of like the judges.
And it's so fitting then.
that voice.
Yeah,
It's just,
is that the fact that she was able to do so many voices for each of the faces of the judge was so cool. Go from like the deep, like commanding voice to like the crazy jester voice. I thought that was so impressive.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And Weird Al, can we just like clap it up for
yes,
Weird Al?
Weird Al as Cosmos was so much fun.
I remember getting my call sheet and seeing his name and like fighting tears. I'm like, it's my childhood. It's Weird Al.
It was so great to see like all the him, Flea as Aftermath, Zelda Williams with Spitfire.
Iconic. I'm still like, I've got to work on this show. Am I still awake?
So many people. It must have been like a huge dream for you to interact with so many of these people.
It is, and it was, and it still continues to be. There are moments where I have to remind myself I can't be a fan right now. I'm a colleague. These are my coworkers.
I'm the same way when I like go out to meet when I'm interacting with my fellow like Transformer content creators, ones that I've personally like were motivated and inspired by to start being a content creator as well. I've only been doing YouTube for about like 10 years now. I did like a few like small games and stuff in the past.
You say that it's so cat. Oh, I've only been doing this for just 10 years.
But it was more so like a hobby first off, because it's still in high school and stuff. I was pursuing college as a film and writing major, and then I thought like, you know what, like when the pandemic hit, like I've got more time on my hands, I'll start taking it more seriously. And I'm like, there's this new Transformers show coming out, EarthSpark. You know, I've been a big Transformers fan. I would be cool to cover this show, and this con I go to every October is covering it. I'll go there and see it, and sure enough, I end up falling in love with it, and I get to have all these wonderful experiences, meet so many new friends, and Leslie here, and I get to talk to one of arguably the coolest people I know.
Your journey led you to something that turned into a passion. I was a TSA agent at LAX airport for 10 years. Speaking of doing something for 10 years. And I used to see all these people that I admire flying in and out of the airport. And one day I would hope to be among them as a peer. And I quit my job because I figured, well, there was tragic circumstances that led to me quitting my job. One of my coworkers was unalived in the Call of Duty. That really it kind of rewired my entire brain. And after that, I was like, you know what? We can go at any time. If I'm going to kick the bucket, I want it to be on my way to rehearsal or on my way to doing something I love, or in the middle of, because life is so precious.
Yeah, you get one life, and you want to spend it doing what you love,
Absolutely. And then I quit my job, and then the pandemic hit. So
yeah, well, crazy circumstances. Am I right?
Oh yeah, but you know what? It was a proving ground. There's a saying that I learned from an elder: "Rock bottom is a solid foundation."
Okay. Well, moving on from that, then you mentioned in the past that EarthSpark was your first animated series you've worked on. And in the past, though, you've done a few live action stuff as well, mostly like commercials and others. Small things. What made you want to switch over to animated stuff, or give a try to voice acting as opposed to live action?
What made me want to try voice acting?
Yes.
Besides the childhood dream aspect of it, I love the freedom that voice actors have, because ultimately it's just you, that microphone, and your talent. It doesn't matter what you look like, what your hair is like, what kind of makeup you wear, none of that matters. It's just you. It's like the rawest form of acting, in my humble opinion.
Honestly, I agree the same way, that it really does feel like that. Some people think that like voice acting, that, I mean, of course, actual like body acting is very like strenuous as well, but I don't think people understand sometimes just how much work goes into voice acting as well, that when people don't really have that whole body to work with, they only hear your voice, and so because that your voice really has to carry the performance. And I could say personally, with your performance as Dot, you've absolutely delivered in that regards.
Thank you so much. And that was thank you. That really means a lot to me. Seriously, thank you.
My pleasure.
I was concerned about that during the pandemic, because I watched, so I'm a nerd. I don't know if you can tell, but used to watch the Blu-ray of Batman the Animated Series, which in my humble opinion is a masterpiece. It was one of the greatest pieces of animation to come out in my generation. I loved it to pieces. It was well written. It was well acted. And I used to watch the behind the scenes special features. And in that, I would see Mark Hamill, the late great Kevin Conroy, in the booth together, acting and reacting off of each other. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is magic. They don't have any costumes. They don't have any special effects. It's just these two actors and paper, and they're reading. They don't have their lines committed to memory. They're reading, and they're really reacting in real time. And I thought, this is magic. These people are creating magic with just their voice. That is so powerful and such a profound use of the medium. And I wanted to be a part of that process in any way that I could, because I felt like I wanted to be a part of that, a part of creating that magic for someone else, for myself, to be perfectly honest with you. And I wanted that so badly. I wanted to be in the room with the actors. I wanted the whole thing. And then the pandemic hit and we were all separated. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this now? I can't go to, Nickelodeon was closed. We couldn't record there. I was recording season 1 out of my closet. Bumped my head a lot. And, I was scared that all the stuff I learned wouldn't be enough to carry me through this unprecedented time where we're not face to face. I don't get to see Zeno's face when he says mom for the first time. I don't get to see little, but we did do Zoom calls, thankfully. But what sucked about that was that we did one big table read. We did a couple of episodes with each other, and then we didn't do anything with each other at all.
Throughout all 4 seasons?
Practically. I didn't record with my castmates. I had to record solo. It was just me and the director, Christy, who's incredible. Christy Reed, one of the best there is. And I had to rely on my imagination, and I had to rely on my memory. I had to remember what Zeno's face looks like when he says certain things. I had to remember what Zion's little giggle, looks like when, they're playing thumb wrestling at the table. I had to do all of that. I had to commit so much to memory and pray that my reactions made sense. And shout out to the team, because if you listen to it, you would never know we were never in the same room.
I would say you fooled me. There are so many times when I was watching them, especially season 1. I think one of the strongest bonds, besides of course Dot and Megatron in EarthSpark, I really jived with Mo and Thrash's relationship. They really felt a lot like a true big sister little brother vibe almost, even though Thrash is much bigger than Mo. Mo's really the older sibling here, and she's the mature one. And I just loved how much Zion Broadnax and Zeno Robinson, they really, if you didn't tell me that they weren't in the same room recording together, I would believe you, because they sound so natural to each other. They bounce off each other so well.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't fake chemistry, baby. That is all chemistry. And Zion was 8 years old when we started.
That was crazy. And I still believe, because she was I believe roughly 9 or 10 when I saw her at Comic-Con a few years ago when season 1 came out.
She was a young kid, very, very young. And for her to have that innate, well, first of all, she's extremely talented, and shout out to her parents. They did an amazing job with raising her. She's a young lady now, I can't deal. But her instincts were so good and so clear. She's a talented little actress.
Oh, absolutely. And it's been crazy to see her grow alongside her characters. One of my favorite episodes I really like in season 2, which is the year after season 1, the whole episode with her and Thrash battling the Quintesson Executioner, and the whole thing is Mo wanting to be taken, oh, I'm not your little Mosey anymore, Dad. Can you start treating me like a big grown-up now? And I guess such a cute thing, because we've all had that point when you're growing up, hitting 10 or even 13 and such, and the kids don't want to be infantilized by their parents anymore. They want to be seen as their own people. And I think that episode really sold Mo's desire to be independent in that regards, and hearing Zion grow up with Mo over the years, it's crazy to see. And I think it's just something I really like too, with seeing how voice actors and actors grow with their characters. I think it's really cool to see.
Agreed. And she was doing I think she was filming Day Shift with Jamie Foxx in the middle of the second season during production. She grew a lot as an actress. I could hear it. There was a switch that went off, I think around season 2, where she started to really lean into the character, and I saw it and I was like, oh goodness.
Yeah, I was just rewatching some season 1 episodes earlier today, and then comparing it to season 4, and the voice change, it's so like you don't notice it like as you're watching over the years, but going back and forth in an instant, like wow, it's crazy how much it's changed.
It is. But oh my goodness, what a gift we have.
Absolutely. So in regards to everything you mentioned with you voice acting earlier, do you have perhaps any advice for anyone who's maybe listening, that's looking to start a career as a voice actor?
Any advice the advice I give to all of aspiring voice actors is to take a class. Take voice acting classes. If you can get them online, and take improv classes, because it's not voice talking, it's voice acting. And if you don't know how to act, all you're doing is making funny voices. And there's space for that. There most certainly is. D. Bradley Baker makes funny voices and he's one of the most talented ones out there. But then you listen to his work in Bad Batch and it's like, oh, that's an actor.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? You know, and there are people who go online and they're really good at imitating, and that's its own skill. Jim Meskimen, who's a talented, like one of the best impressionists in the world. He can sound like dang near anybody. But take classes, learn your instrument, learn your craft, learn your voice, learn how to take care of your voice. You only get one. You know, I'm over here with all my concoctions and potions and stuff because I had to learn very quickly. Your voice will give out on you if you do not take care of it. So please take acting classes, do theater, get on your feet, get a script in your hand. And that way, when the time comes and all that's taken away, you have a craft to fall back on when you're a voice actor. You know, it's a lot easier to imagine doing a scene with someone when you've done it on your feet. Your body remembers, the voice will be able to recall, if that makes sense.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So, it's been a month now since Transformers EarthSpark has ended. What's life been like for you in the past month since then? Are you enjoying your freedom of just having a break from Dot for now?
I will never have a break from Dot. I still get messages from people asking, you know, little advice or, you know, asking me questions about the show, and that's been really fun. I'm a big kid myself. I watch it alongside the fans, and I'm getting popcorn. I'm getting, you know, irritated with them too. Like, man, why can't you just get it together? You know,
Exactly.
I love cartoons. I love animation. I've always wanted to be a part of this industry, and to be a part of it as a voice actor has been such a gift. And I got to meet so many amazing people as a result. And yeah, I've still been working. I still, I'm a part of a new production called Lackadaisy Cats, which is now a part of Glitch. I'm really excited about that. And she's characters who recognize me from EarthSpark and are listening to Seraphine, they're like, oh, it's Evil Dot with
that's literally how I thought. So I just watched the pilot for Lackadaisy literally yesterday for the first time when I was just getting ready for this interview, and I sit here and I'm like, oh, that's just, like, honestly, it's Creole Evil Dot, and I love that. And you did an amazing performance as Seraphine, by the way. Absolutely loved you played off everyone else, so I'm so excited to see how season 1 goes. That's still going well.
We're still in production.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry, no. I get a little like talkative when I'm really excited about stuff. So I just love how you slip back into your dots so easily when you're saying stuff like that.
I can't help it. I can and I can't.
No,
I can't help it.
It's so good though. Like I love it.
I get asked a lot. When I went to SGCC this 2025, when I got a chance to panel again, I was asked what are 2 lines that fans remember, and I'm like, I know 2 by heart that resonate with me, and that's the one that where in the episode where Robbie uses a shield to protect Dot in the car, and she comes out and she's like, "Are you okay?" And you are my heart walking outside my chest. I need you to stay safe.
You are my heart walking outside my chest. I need you to stay safe.
That's one of my favorite lines. Is
it?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, because that's one of my favorite ones. Masai Singleton wrote that line, and I told him later on, like, that line is beautiful. That is Dot in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
You are my heart walking outside of my chest. I need you to stay safe. Leg be damned.
All right. So moving on to that. You mentioned that before when you auditioned for EarthSpark, you didn't even know that it was EarthSpark and Transformers. It was just Hometown Heroes.
Yes.
So obviously you didn't know it was Transformers at the time, and you auditioned for Dot. Were there any other characters that you auditioned for alongside Dot?
Yes, I auditioned for Alita 1.
Really? Oh.
Yes, I auditioned for Alita 1, and I auditioned for, oh gosh, I know I auditioned for Alita 1 for sure, and I believe I read for RC.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to be a robot so bad. I really tried.
Now I'm kind of imagining like, how EarthSpark would have been different if you were Alita or RC, and I'm sure you absolutely would have done an equally fantastic job as either one of them as well.
I appreciate that, but Sissy Jones.
Yeah, no, Sissy Jones is amazing. I was a big fan of hers before EarthSpark, so when I got saw in the cast announcement that she was going to be voicing Alita, I'm like, oh my god, that's great. I'm so excited to see, and like having be Alita's first real appearance in a Transformers cartoon since animated, I think no one better to play her.
Well, she's iconic and so nice. Like that's the thing that's blown me away. Everybody's been so kind. The ones that I've met, I haven't met Alan yet, and I've never met Rory. If you can believe.
Oh no, I was just about to ask that too.
No, I never met him. We never read together. He wasn't in the table read. I didn't even know he was. We didn't know who Megatron and Optimus were for several episodes. We all thought it was Peter. I thought it was Frank Welker and Peter Cullen. I'm like, oh my gosh, they got the OGs, y'all. They got the OGs. No shade to Alan though. He's a
he was fantastic as Optimus.
And Megatron with the Scottish brogue, get out of
here. Literally, I argue Rory McCann's easily top 3 best Megatron voices. Him, Frank Welker, and Brian Tyree Henry in TF1 as well. Did such an amazing job.
I enjoyed that, and also Jason Marnoka.
Oh yes, he was so good in the War for Cybertron series.
Oh, Jason's a friend of mine too, which is ironic. That
also,
me and Megatron are friends in real life. Isn't that funny?
Also, fellow Lackadaisy VA too.
Yes, he is. That's how we met. And when I figured out who he was, and I knew who he was, but I didn't want to be like that person.
Oh yeah, I totally understand that.
So nice to meet you. But he couldn't be more kinder. I'm so thankful that I got a chance to work with him. And yes, Dot and Megatron are friends in real life. Go figure.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. With Dot, what would you say were your biggest inspirations for like creating her character in your mind? Like when you were thinking like what kind of voice and personality you wanted to give Dot, what were you inspired by?
My grandparents.
Aw, that's
my grandparents. Dot is a love letter to my grandparents. I have military grandparents on both sides. Both served and both came home injured. And it hit home in a way that I didn't expect. Certain things just resonate with you, and you don't always know when it's going to happen, but when it does, you have to follow it. And Dot is an amalgamation of the women in my life, my grandmothers, my aunts. I have cousins who served in the military, and she's also partially inspired by a real park ranger, Ranger Betty Soskin, who I discovered through doing research for Dot was a Black female ranger, park ranger for the National Park System, and they modeled Dot after her.
Really? Oh, that's so cool.
They did. She recently passed away at the tender age of 104.
Wow. Honestly, what a full life she had led.
I hope that she saw the series. I really hope that she knows that she made an impact on me as a person and as an actor, and her stories inspired. She's done so. You Google her, please. Ranger Betty Soskin, Soskin.
Absolutely. I think I do remember.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was meant to mention. I do think I remember seeing. I think on your Instagram, you mentioned you made a little like tribute post to her. I think a few days ago, which was very sweet. I did a little bit of research on her after that, and what an incredible story in life she led. And to see that she will now be sort of immortalized through Dot's character, I think is really, really cool to see. And I think that if she had seen it, she'd be absolutely proud of your performance and portrayal of Dot.
That's so kind of you to say. Thank you. That means a lot to me. But yeah, the short answer,
okay,
where I get too emotional, is my grandparents and the women and my family and my ancestors, my elders who passed. Because I remember asking in the audition, they don't give you a ton of information outside of the lines. They gave me a really decent character description so I could kind of figure it out in my head. But I remember reading that she was a veteran, but I was like, did she see combat? I asked them that in the callback. I said, did she see combat? They said, yes, she did. I said, did she get injured? And they go, yes, she did.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, I got to redo this whole thing. Give me a second. And I'm going through my script while they're waiting on me. I'm, penciling stuff in. And then I read it. And then they're like, can you do that again? I'm like, sure. And in my mind, I'm like, I have no idea what I just did.
It clearly worked.
Thankfully.
That also, I guess, sort of steps into like another question I have here, where you mentioned that, you asked if Dot got injured. So were there any aspects of Dot's character that changed from the moment you got the role as her to when you started like voicing her? Like, for instance, did she always have a prosthetic leg?
Yes.
From the start? Okay.
Yes, she did.
That was always like a big part of her character.
Yes, it was. And I thought, like, yay for the disabled community. They need a freaking hero.
Absolutely. Too. And that's another thing I have here, where I think Dot is such a big stepping stone for the Transformers community. The fact that she's a main character who is both a person of color and disabled, that is a huge thing for representation and all that, which really makes me happy. How does it feel to play a character who's been such a huge inspiration to, I'm sure, many people both in and outside of the Transformers fandom?
How does it feel? It feels humbling. It feels gratifying. And my little inner child, who's in my mind, she's 10 years old, she is thrilled. These are characters that I did not grow up seeing like this. And the fact that there's a generation of kids who are going to grow up with this being their anchor series or their gateway series into Transformers and the Transformers fandom, and that I got to be a part of that in any small way, is truly, truly amazing. And then for my character to be friends with one of the baddest dudes in the universe, it's even more layered, because it's like, how did she pull that off?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
Don't like human beings.
Exactly. You see how hard it is for Optimus and other series to do that, and that just shows speaks volumes of how incredible Dot is as a character in person.
The writers really worked. They did their jobs. I'm so proud of the way that the team came together to create her, and all the characters for that matter, because all of the Terrans have that special little spark that allows us to see ourselves reflected. And that's so important, because if we're going to make a better future for the world, if we're going to do better in this world, we need to see a model of that. If kids see themselves reflected in a futuristic universe, they know that they have a place in it, and it gives them a stake in creating something beautiful.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. That's actually something that you mentioned earlier, that EarthSpark, like, you feel like these are characters that you didn't have growing up, that you wish you could have seen in cartoons back then. That's exactly how I felt seeing all the Terrans and Maltos. The one I identified with the most, and I think I had the most passionate response to, was Jawbreaker, actually. JB is such a sweetheart and someone I identify with immensely. It's the episode in season 1 where he and Hashtag are making the film, interviewing all the Autobots and Terrans about like how they got their alt modes. And the line that sticks out to me the most, that really hit me hard, is when he's talking to Alita on the big junk pile in the harbor. And she's saying like, "Oh, your Spark will know."
About the T-Cog in that one, right?
Yes. Yeah. She's saying like, "Oh, your Spark will know when you find the right alt mode," but he stammers a bit, and he's confused, like he's trying to get something out, but he just says, "What if I'm broken, though? Because when I look at cars, I feel nothing." And to me, if you change a few of those words around, to me, as someone who recently came out as openly bisexual, that's a lot of how I felt when I first realized I was bi, when I felt more romantically attracted to other boys and men more than girls. I felt like Jawbreaker. I felt, what if I'm broken? That like, do I feel, is something wrong with me that I'm not into girls that much compared to other boys? And hearing that, I'm like, it just felt that kind of same connection with Jawbreaker in that regards. And his whole journey about growing at his own pace, where he's the last of his siblings to get an alt mode, and while he feels very like he feels very insecure about that at first, but also learns by the end of the episode that, yeah, I don't know what I'd be, but I know when I do find it, I know that it will be right for me. That really speaks a lot to me as like someone who didn't know what they wanted to be growing up, like for a very long time. I was only about like 15 or 16 when I helped a friend of mine make a short horror film in high school where I'm like, yeah, I think...
Oh, you were so young.
Yeah, media production was what I wanted to do. I was growing up someone who really thought I was going to be a doctor, a surgeon growing up. I majored all in AP bio. I watched a lot of like General Hospital and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
Like all like the surgery messy stuff didn't really bother me, so I thought like, oh, I could do it. But then mom's like, oh, well, do you think like you could handle having a human life in your hands and stuff like that? And I froze up. I'm like, and then my anxiety's got the better of me. I'm like, maybe not. She's like, oh, well, maybe you could be a forensic pathologist instead. You know, like help, like solve crimes and all that. Be like a superhero. Be like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that. And I was so dead set in high school to do that until a friend of mine said, hey, I need help filming this short film for my film class. You want to help out? I'm like, yeah, sure. Had such a great time working on it. I'm like, oh no, this is what I want to do. This is absolutely what I want to do. So
isn't that feeling magic once you figure that out?
Absolutely.
Isn't that just a magical moment?
Mm-hmm. You were mentioning that like that you were, since you were a child, you knew that you wanted to do voice acting. When I discovered my passion for filmmaking at like roughly 16 or so.
Well, I did a lot of plays as a child, you know, little school plays and things
Absolutely.
of that sort. I started taking it really seriously when I hit high school because I was entered in competitions and we started winning. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm actually good at this.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was an undergrad, well, I didn't go to college right away. I went to junior college and I worked for 10 years and I finished my degree. And then somewhere in there, excuse me, I took classes just because I still missed acting. So I would take classes on the side just because I treated it as a hobby at first because I'm like, no one's going to hire me. I don't look like anybody on television. I'm not super small. I'm not super tall. I'm just Benni, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think the turning point for me was when I booked a musical in Hollywood. It was a small 99-seat theater and I did a production of Ragtime and I'm like, oh, oh, this feels good. Oh, shoot. We have opened the floodgates again, guys.
Yeah. You have that just one moment where that one experience, it all clicks and you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Technically, the first professional job I ever booked as a professional actress was a commercial. And it was a Samsung commercial. And I played a TSA agent.
What are the odds of that?
I don't know, but they're pretty dang good.
You know, it's so funny you mentioned the commercial stuff because I think recently you did a Tide commercial, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
So, and I don't know if it's like some sort of cosmic joke or something, but I was just rewatching like one of my EarthSpark videos a while ago, just like responding to some fans' comments, and I kid you not, the ad that popped up at the start of the video was your Tide commercial.
No.
And I'm like, what are the odds of that?
Zeno teases me about that because he goes to a lot of conventions and he says, he said one night he was in the hotel room and the TV was on and one of my commercials came on and it was like I was tucking him in good night or something silly. Like I heard your voice and it felt like calm. And Cyrus, who's the voice of Jawbreaker, who's another dear soul. I adore them. Everybody in my cast is so nice. I'm so thankful. But Cyrus said something similar, like, you know, it's just like having your mom. I'm trying to sound like him, and I'm
absolutely
like having your mom wish you good night. It's like everything's gonna be okay. I'm like, you know what? I'll take that.
Yeah.
If that's what you get out of that, thank you, and thank you, Ty.
That's great. Okay. Well, you mentioned before about like how Doc was able to make Megatron turn good. That's actually my next question here. So, in EarthSpark, we learned that Dot is the one who actually convinced Megatron to become an Autobot, not Optimus or Bumblebee like other series. What do you think that says about Dot and Megatron, that your character was the one to make essentially the big bad of Transformers a good guy?
I think it says a lot because Dot wasn't trying to do that initially. We recorded a scene where they first meet and it never got animated, and it's such a shame because it's very telling. I remember recording this thinking, oh my gosh, people are gonna lose it, and we never saw it. But the scene where Dot actually gets injured and breaks her leg and has to have it amputated.
Oh.
Now, you don't see the amputation, but you see when she breaks her leg.
Oh, okay.
And she's actually saving a Decepticon.
Really?
She's removing debris from a Decepticon trying to save his life. And as she's trying to save his life, here comes Megatron, cannon pointed at her like, you know, you foul human, da-da-da. She's like, I'm trying to help your fallen, Megatron. So either help me or get out of my way.
Oh, wow. I just got chills listening. Like, I'm imagining the scene in my head, and wow.
It was iconic.
And
as he's trying to help him, I think it was the Seekers, they fire at the building that she's in, and some of the debris falls. And then the next shot is Megatron carrying her in and like surrendering while carrying her in, like do everything you can to save her.
Wow. Oh, now that just answers my next question, where like, oh, was this, like, I literally have like a thing here. Oh, we learned through like some like spin-off books that why Doc convinced Megatron was because he tried to stop her from saving a bunch of Decepticons, and I was say like, oh, was this scene ever actually going to be in? But there we go. Did this happen to be the episode where Megatron takes all the kids to the Space Bridge Park? Was it maybe going to be during that episode, or?
I don't know. I do recall. I don't know where that scene was going to be placed. It makes sense that it would be in the memorial episode when he's talking about, because you see a clip of Dot in combat. Like,
yeah, exactly. So for like a split second. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would make a lot of sense. But that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure where they would place it. They would have placed it, but I remember recording that, and I remember thinking, "This is it. This is where they get to see how the magic happened." Go ahead.
No, I wish like so badly that scene. Like maybe like one day someone will like make a comic like adaptation of that or something.
Listen, I was at TFCon this past March, last March, and I asked everyone how would they feel. Are you familiar with the comic book Void Rivals?
Yes. Oh my god, I'm a huge fan of Void Rivals, the whole Energon universe. Robert Kirkman, I was a huge fan of his with The Walking Dead and Invincible. So when I heard he was going to do Transformers, it was a dream come true. Okay,
so I collect comic books too. I have Void Rivals and I have some of the Transformers series, but Void Rivals specifically is the mashup between Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Now tell me you would not want to see a series where Dot becomes a Joe.
Yes! Oh, literally, I'm reading the G.I. Joe comics as they come out too, and I wanted like to send a letter like, hey, EarthSpark is really cool, and there's this awesome human named Dot who's like a former soldier. I'm like, what? And so they just introduced one of the more in the G.I. Joe comics, one of the more recent issues, a member of like the sort of the Black Ops division of G.I. Joe called Night Force, and they have woman named Shooter in there, who she's kind of the sharpshooter of the group, and I think like this could have been Dot in an alternate universe.
It still can be. They can find a way to, because I remember joking about this with a couple of people. And there were a lot of fans at the table saying, we like that idea.
Yes.
You need to call. I'm like, honey, I don't know Mr. Nickelodeon. I don't have their number. I can't call them and make them do anything. But if you guys make enough noise, something might happen. And I would love to come back to Dot again. That would be a dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows? Maybe there's the rumors of the next live action movie being the G.I. Joe crossover. We get live action Dot as a Joe.
About that, but I would love to do a cameo as something.
That would be amazing.
I let the action heroes do the action hero stunts. I mean, I'd get in shape for it and give it a shot for real. But I like the idea of my voice being lent to the character.
I totally understand.
But yeah, Dot as a Joe would be iconic, and or just the Team Cyber Strike, just a series, a spinoff of all the battles that Dot and Megatron.
That would have been so cool to see. Absolutely. Okay, so well, going on from that, we have that amazing deleted scene that you told me about. But were there any other like deleted scenes or scrapped moments while recording EarthSpark that maybe you could talk about that you wish maybe got seen in the?
Any other deleted scenes? That's the most significant one, I'll tell you, because I actually recorded it. But To be honest, a lot of the deleted scenes were just extensions of what was already there. I don't know if they added a ton of information, and I honestly don't remember all the other ones. But that one stuck out.
That's totally fine. Yeah, like I've seen a few storyboard artists have posted like their storyboards of EarthSpark, and they include like deleted scenes that are just like extensions of what's already there. But I just thought I'd ask. That's still really amazing about the whole story with how Dot like met Megatron, convinced him to become.
Basically said, "Get out of my way. I'm helping your dad. I'm helping your fallen Megatron." I remember that line. I'm helping your fallen Megatron. Help me or get out of my way.
It's so
I was
good.
like, this girl is cold. I love her.
She is. And now, throughout EarthSpark, I feel like throughout the entire of the show, Dot gets a really good amount of time with each of her kids, getting to like bestow various life lessons and truly be a mom to each of them. So I have like a few scenes of mine throughout the entire EarthSpark that Dot shares with her children I really enjoyed. I was wondering if I could just like ask your thoughts on some of them as I go through them.
Let's go.
Okay, so with Robbie started off, I really love different moments throughout where she's trying to teach him how to be more responsible. A scene that really speaks out to me is honestly the end of the first episode of season 2, where Robbie has the plan. He makes a plan to go get all like, oh, okay, you and Megatron go distract Starscream and all the other Decepticons, faking like having the fake Emberstone shards, while Twitch, Nightshade, and I are going to go into his base and steal all of his shards. And he thinks it's going to work out, and then Aftermath ends up being there with Breakdown, and because of that, they get into a little fight that results in Robbie having to give up the shards that he was going to steal from Starscream, and the whole mission's considered a failure by him. And then Dot, while she's patching Robbie up at the end of the episode, tries to reassure him, saying that, like, hey, you saved your siblings, and that's what's most important. Like, this wasn't a failure, you succeeded, because we will get those shards back another day. And so I really... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, I was clearing my throat.
Oh, okay. No, I was just saying that's, like, I feel like was a really good moment in showing, Robbie's like how Dot is trying to teach Robbie to be a leader. I guess sort of the same way she was probably the leader of her own platoon back during the war.
She was Team Cyberstrike.
Exactly.
I think speaking from a character's perspective, Dot sees a lot of herself in Robbie. That willingness to defend, that willingness to protect, the willingness to put themselves in harm's way. But I think when she goes missing and Alex, remember the scene in season 1 where Alex is in the car with Bumblebee and he's like, I'm not an action hero like you be, but I
when Mandroid kidnaps her and Megatron.
Yes. And so there's a line he says, I'm not an action hero, but I will do anything I can to protect my family.
Absolutely.
And from a soldier's perspective, it's a success if all of your soldiers come back in one piece. Because you're all together, you're all alive, we can live to fight another day. Do what you need to do, but I need you to come home. Yes. And I think that the way that she was able to reframe she helped him redefine what a failure was versus a success.
Absolutely.
And I think oftentimes as grown-ups, as kids, we need that reframing. A failure isn't always a failure, it's a lesson. And ultimately at the end of the day, you can only do so much, but the effort and the consistency is what people will see and will be inspired by. And I hope that there's a generation of kids who are inspired by Robbie's efforts and willingness to be there for his siblings and for the planet.
Absolutely. Then moving on to Mo, I feel like my favorite episode that Dot has with Mo arguably it's the episode where Robbie's really sick from his broken cyber sleeve, and all the Terrans and Alex especially are really worried for Robbie. Though Dot's absolutely keeping like a really strong face where obviously you can tell that she's worried for her son, of course, but she's still trying her best to keep it all together. And then Mo seems almost kind of offended by that, where she's almost, I think she says something along the lines of don't make a promise you can't keep, because she doesn't feel like that. She feels like Dot's deflecting from this or not treating it so seriously. But I think that really speaks volumes that just because Dot's not panicking like the rest of her family doesn't mean she doesn't care as much as them. And I really think that she's just trying to be the rock for her family in that moment, in this very scary situation.
You
So
also have to remember she saw death. She saw death on the battlefield. She saw combat on the battlefield. There's a switch that gets flipped between mom and soldier. And I had to learn that, but I had to walk that balance very carefully because there were some lines where I was more soldier than mom and it sounded mean. And then there are other instances where stuff is blowing up and I'm trying to be mommy cupcakes. And it's like, what the, and I had to find a way to find that balance. Like, I need to be that reassuring voice, but it's also, we need to get out of here now.
Absolutely.
And, in that instance, when your son is a soldier, in essence, and you have to, that switch, that toggle switch goes back and forth. It's like, okay, well, one of my men are down. We're going to patch him up. We're going to go back and we're going to regroup. It's going to be okay. And then it's like, oh my gosh, my son. Because here's the thing. Dot is experienced in combat, but she doesn't know anything about all the extracurricular Cybertronian stuff. That's out of her range. But what she does know is how to stay calm in crazy situations. And so she falls back on her training because that's what she knows. That's where she's comfortable.
Absolutely.
And that's what she feels like she can do the most good. If my family's falling apart, I got to be the rock. I got to hold them together. That is my duty as their mom and protector. They will never see me fall apart, but I'm falling apart. And Alex sees that. Alex is the one that's more in tune. Like, I know her. She's trying to be strong, but I know my wife.
I believe it happens towards the end of the episode when they're all inside of Quintus Prime's ship and Mo has to fight Mandroid. Yes. And while Dot and Alex are trying to keep the ship from crashing to Earth. And I think it's Dot that wants to go up and help Mo fight. But then Alex, I think, is the one that pulls her back, saying oh, look at our daughter. She's all grown up. She's grown a lot since meeting the Terrans. She can handle this. We just have to trust her to be able to do this. And I think
that was so hard for Dot to do because she's been the mama bear for everybody.
Exactly. That's her little girl out there.
That's
fighting.
My baby. Yes. And so and shout out to John Briones, who's another friend of mine. John's super talented guy. And it turns out we were remember that musical I told you about I was in? John was in that musical.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, we met each other almost 20 years ago, and then when they revealed the cast in the Zoom call and I saw his face, I was like, ah!
Oh, that's so cute. I think your mic is it's peaking. It was quieting it out.
My bad is but no, I was saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you. I'm excited to see you too. How cool is this that we get to do this? I know, it's so cool. It was such a fun reunion.
Oh, I bet.
And also for that being my first series, I was scared to pieces because it's like, okay, now I can't mess up. These are veterans, but this was my first series. This was John's first series. This was Zion's first series. And shout out to Nickelodeon for giving a bunch of newcomers a chance and making them the family.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something I think I and a lot of other fans were really surprised, but also happy to see the fact that there's so much new blood in EarthSpark, where of course we all love seeing our fan favorite voice actors show up in our things, but it's so cool when a big show like EarthSpark pushes up new faces, and then that allows them to become as well beloved as those we've enjoyed for many years. And to me at least, I absolutely believe that EarthSpark has done that for you and a lot of the rest of the cast.
I believe that with all my heart, and that's why I continuously am grateful, not gracious. Well, gracious, yes, because that's just good manners. But grateful to Nickelodeon for giving us a shot, especially during a time where productions were in limbo and they weren't sure how they were going to pivot with the pandemic being what it was. And the fact that they not only found a way to continue production, but took a chance on unknown talent was truly special. And again, I am they will continuously have my gratitude for that. They changed the course of my career and my life.
And I'm very happy to hear that. So now moving on to your Terran babies. Twitch is one I also identify with a lot, especially with her need to be perfect and kind of how she shuts down if something goes wrong. That's a trait I identify with immensely as well, where more so, most things I go into with like a very concise and clear plan where, okay, this needs to happen, then this, then that, and so on. And even if one thing goes wrong, I'm like, no, this isn't where I'm supposed to go. Now I start like panicking and freaking out, and I really relate to Twitch a lot in regards. But I think the best episode that she has with Dot is, I'm sure, one a lot of people enjoy, and it's the Mother's Day episode in season 1, where she and Robbie have to help Dot get the baby bear back to her mom.
My forest, my rules.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that I think is one of my favorite episodes, where it's such a crazy concept that the fact that we have a bear getting infected with like energon like laced worms or grubs, and then it creates this like alien parasite thing that they have to fight. But when I literally saw like the whole like tentacle sprout out of like the bear's head, and then it creates like a jelly like energon copy of the bear, I'm like, am I watching Transformers still, or some like sci-fi horror series? Like, I felt like this is something I would see like in a G1 episode, honestly, and I really liked that.
That too, and it was kind of a cool moment where you see Dot without her prosthesis, and she's like army crawling across the ground.
I love that scene so much, where she grabs and puts it on her arm like she's Mega Man, and just pew, pew,
that was such a cool Happy Mother. I gotta say Happy Mother's Day.
Boom. Yeah, it's like Jaws almost, like shooting the tank and like the sharks. I literally felt like that. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, anyway, that episode was kind of like Dot was the main character of that episode in a way, I feel like. So what was it like recording that episode? Like, did you feel maybe more pressure in an episode where kind of that, knowing that that Dot was going to be the focus of that episode, kind of?
I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't feel any extra pressure because of that episode. I just felt a duty to be honest to the character and to help move the story along. I looked at my character as part of this big machine, and the more that she played her role, the better the machine moved along. And I thought it was pretty hilarious that she's a mama bear fighting a mama bear.
Literally, I think that's like great, like funny, but also really cool symbolism in that regards.
Agreed. And I love how when she's putting on her prosthesis and she's like, feels different. I think that we got to see how she has, I don't know how to say this without, I'm going to try to be as clear as I can. But I love how she normalized her disability.
Absolutely.
She didn't try to hide from it. She didn't make excuses for it. She owns it. It's a part of who she is. It's something that she had to learn how to do. And when Nightshade gives her the new prosthesis, you know, at first she's like very like, this is offensive. This is, you don't do that. This is my choice. I appreciate that you meant to do it from a loving perspective. You're a child wanting to help their mom, but honey, I don't need help.
Absolutely. I think that's
I know that I'm missing a part of my leg. I've known this for some time now. I've made it work. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm a fully realized human being with or without. This is just how I show up now. And she even said, look, I'm open to a few changes, but they have to be ones we come up with together. I have to live like this. You know, you're from the outside looking in. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And when her prosthesis flies off, I'm like, they actually took the prosthesis off, and you see her with her
absolutely like army crawling down to grab the leg back. It's so empowering to see.
Yeah, it made me think of Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of my favorite series. No, she's like, don't pity me. I know I can't see, but I can see better than a lot of y'all can.
Absolutely.
You know, I love that aspect of, like you said, perfectly said, empowering.
You mentioned earlier in this that you watch a lot of the behind the scenes of Batman animated series. That was me. I have all of Avatar: The Last Airbender on DVD, and as a kid I would always my mom's car at the time had like a DVD player in the back of it. I'd always have my headphones on the way to school, to and from school, watching the behind the scenes, seeing Mae Whitman, Dante Bosco, and all of them. That was like recording for everyone, and that really, I think that also in hindsight made me like realize how much I love what goes into creating shows like EarthSpark and all that, how much love the cast has with working on these shows. And that really shows with how you portray Dot throughout the show, and especially this episode, like I said, and the way she speaks to Nightshade about like, well, you can clearly tell that, yes, this is something that's very personal to her, but she doesn't ever like lash out at her child. She never takes her frustrations out on them, and does it so gently, saying that, hey, listen, this is something very personal to me, and that I know what I want for this, but I appreciate what you tried to do for me in that regards.
What I loved about Dot was her patience. She recognized that these are brand new creatures, not just to her family, but to this world. And humanity is very nuanced. There's a lot of little things that you can't really be told, you can only experience. And I think with her, she knows her children, and she understands that they love her. And she understands that they would never do anything to try to intentionally hurt, harm, or endanger her. It's just they want to help. And it's like little kids want to help. And, they may have tried to make breakfast and they burn the house down. It's like, well, sweetie, you don't want to play with the stove. Please don't touch the stove. It's kind of like that. Okay, I can't get too mad. They were trying to help.
Absolutely.
And Nightshade's the baby genius of the group. If anyone's going to come up with some cool gadgetry, it would be them. And she actually is kind of impressed because the thing did save her life.
Yeah, exactly.
Call it what it is. It's like, you did an impressive job and thank you, but don't do that again.
Yeah. All right, now moving on to my beloved Thrash. I just love how Dot treats Thrash up the whole show. Starting with I think one of my favorite episodes also in EarthSpark is the episode where he and Mo end up getting duped by Swindle, that's one of my favorite episodes, just because I love Zeno Robinson's performance in the episode. I argue that's one of his best performances as Thrash throughout the entire show. How he really believes in Swindle, that he wants to he's just a misunderstood Decepticon and all that. But I really like that when Dot finds out that he and Mo have been hanging around with Swindle, and how she at first reacts to it, where she says along the lines, and I quote, oh, cons weren't born into that life, they chose that, and anyone who wears that badge can't be trusted. But then Mo kind of tries to counter that by saying oh, well, what about you being friends with Megatron, holding up that adorable live, laugh, love picture of her and Megatron together. And then Dot says oh, well, that's different though.
Megatron's different. Megatron is truly changed.
Yes, exactly. And then Dart's which you learned when you gave him a chance.
Megatron has truly changed.
Which you learned when you gave him a chance.
And I think that's and I feel like Thrash is right there, because as we as the audience know that Swindle's actually duping him and Mo, but I generally think in other circumstances, Thrash is right, because Dot only knows Megatron wanted to change because she gave him that chance, and by extension the rest of the world did. And I think that's really cool how Dot learns from that and seems to be more lenient towards Decepticons going forward, as we see towards the end of the episode, once she comes in to save Mo and Swindle from Mo and Thrash from Swindle. And I absolutely love that scene where Dot just comes and runs over Swindle with her truck.
Rule number 1, don't mess with my baby.
Oh, exactly. And then and after that, Thrash apologizes to Dot for being rude with her, with ignoring her rules.
Can I tell you a little tidbit about that scene?
Yes.
Real quick. So that was one of the few episodes that I got to record with other cast members. Mm-hmm. Usually it would be Christy and myself and the team and the writers and stuff, and we kind of do the lines and whatnot. But this was one of the rare times I got to record listening to Zeno. And again, in my little closet and in my office, I I was reacting to him, and I started to cry a little bit. And I was so embarrassed because they can see my face on camera and they could hear the break in my voice. But it was when he calls her mom for the first time.
Yeah, and I literally just rewatched that scene a few minutes before we started here. And now that you mention it, I think I can kind of hear it a little bit in your performance.
I'm sorry for joining the Decepticons, Mom.
It's hard to be told what to do. I know, but our rules exist to keep everyone safe and together.
But it's also just such a sweet moment between the two of them that I really do enjoy. And I think that carries throughout how she treats Thrash throughout the entire show, especially in the last episode when Thrash is leading his own team on Cybertron and Dot's there to try and encourage him and teach him to be a better leader. And even then, he's still calling her.
Yeah. It's the, again, she recognizes that they're new.
Mhm.
They're brand new, not just to her family, but to this planet, and they're bonded to her children. So once she realized, like, those sleeves don't come off and they're all connected, it's like, well, shoot, I got a choice to make.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say that's
No, it's fine.
I really like we mentioned that it's in the end of the first episode, I think, when after they stop Mandroid, they get Twitch and Thrash back from him, and then Optimus is like, oh, like, all right, let's go, we're gonna take the Terrans, I'll take care of them, or send them to work in Ghost, and then Dot jumps in and says,
Optimus. I respect your concern for Twitch and Thrash, but these bots are bonded to my children.
Exactly.
I respect your concern for Twitch and Thrash, but these bots are bonded to my children.
I've rewatched these scenes like countless times, and it's like, it's so much fun just to hear you say them in real time with the almost exact same inflections and stuff. It's surreal for me to experience. So thank you for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love it. I love my job.
Well, after that, my other one I really like is with Jawbreaker. I know we talked a little bit about Jawbreaker, but compared to the other Terrans, I don't think actually Jawbreaker really, JB, gets a lot of time to have like one-on-one conversations with Dot, sadly. There is one scene I really like though in that interview episode I mentioned earlier, where I think it's like JB asks her like why Thrash is acting so weird when Mo is filming.
Sounds like he's showing out for the camera.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a sweet moment where like she explains to him that like, oh, like sometimes like you said showing out for the camera, but like it would be nice though to like, I feel like it would have been cool to see like Dot like actually get to like have more sweet moments with JB and really like talk to him, like give him some nice lessons. So in that regards, then, if knowing how Jawbreaker is with like how at that point how insecure he was like with himself about like maybe being behind his other siblings in terms of like progress and like finding alt mode, what's some advice do you think Dot would have given to Jawbreaker in that regards to help him like be more confident in himself?
That's a really good question. I think it would echo a lot of what Alex told Nightshade.
Oh, yeah.
I think that Dot might have said something along the lines of, she might have shared, I think, to be real, I think she might have shared what it was like when she lost her leg.
Really?
And how she had to figure out how to be this new version of herself. But eventually she found a way to make it make sense. And I think she would have said something along the lines of, eventually you will find your way. Just be patient with yourself and know that we love you no matter what you decide. Because we love you, Jawbreaker, the individual. However you choose to show up is however you choose to show up. But there's no pressure, you know? It took me time. I didn't know when, but I knew it when it would happen. I knew that I'd find a way to make peace with what happened with my injury, to process that trauma and let it fuel me to be a better person, a better mom, a better soldier. You know, I think she would have said something to that effect. But
that is really sweet. Thank you so much for that. I think that totally fits what she would have said to him in that moment.
Thank you.
Well, you mentioned like how like that's similar to how Alex talked to Nightshade. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about them then in that regards. I really like we talked a bit about how she talks to them about them changing her prosthetic leg in the bear episode, but another episode I really liked with her talking to them is in, of course, the episode where they get their Almo when they find Tarantulas in the Wiki Cemetery. I love the conversation that they had after they talk to Tarantulas about when he wants them to work with him as like a lab assistant to him, and they say, oh, like I'd love to, but I have other obligations to others that I need to fulfill. And then they go to Dot and they ask her what it was like for, I think the lines were like, oh, how was society able to forgive Megatron and see him as a good person when they only knew him as a villain going for the path for up until that point?
Well, Decepticons aren't inherently good or bad. Who they are depends on their character.
Decepticons aren't inherently good or bad. Who they are depends on their character and actions.
But Nightshade, everyone deserves a second chance, whether they're human, Autobot, or Decepticon.
But Nightshade, everyone deserves a second chance, whether they're human, Autobot, or Decepticon.
And what about those still in the shadows or in prison?
Not everyone uses their second chance wisely.
And the Decepticons that are living in shadows or in prison?
Not everyone uses their second chance wisely.
You really know your stuff.
No.
That is impressive.
Oh no, that's like one of my favorite scenes, and then also Thrash's scene with Mo. One of the lines where it's like oh, if you were missing, I'd break every rule in the world to get you back. That's like I think my favorite Thrash line throughout the entire.
That's Dino's favorite line, just so you know. Personally, that's his favorite line. He said that at TFCon LA, and I got chills. I was like, that's why I cried in that booth.
It's so good, but I just love that how Dot, like, you can tell, like, again, going back to that episode with Thrash, where at first she's like, cons aren't born into that life, they chose it, and then where she was so against the thing that at that point it's like, oh, anyone that's a con can't be trusted, to now here where that's what you do with your life that matters. I think
what Thrash said really made her think. And what I love about Dot and Alex both is that they allow themselves to be taught by their children.
Mm-hmm.
And when their kids call them out, they say, you know what, you were right. They reinforce their inquisitiveness, and they even encourage it, because they recognize that, hey, I don't have it all together myself. Just because I'm a grown-up doesn't mean I know everything. And I think it's important to give young people permission to question what they see, because this is all going to be theirs. They have to be comfortable with engaging the world. And it starts with those familial relationships, or those, parent, child, or teacher, whatever, relationship. Like, you let them know that it's okay to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
How you react as an adult is also important, because if they see you crashing out, they're going to go, oh, I guess mistakes are really bad, huh? Versus going, oh, I made a mistake. That was silly. Well, learn my lesson. Off I go,
Exactly.
I think that's important.
And I think that also speaks volumes of how mature Dot and Alex are as parents, that they're willing to admit to their kids when they're wrong, and that they're willing, like you said, willing to learn from them in that regards. And
shout out to the writers, and shout out to Dale and Ant for really nailing down those parents, because they really are parents that you don't really see too many parents in Transformers series. You see them, but you don't.
Yeah, that's another thing I really like. That, like, yeah, outside of maybe G1, for instance, with Sparkplug, and then later Spike when he and Carly have their own child, and then animated, of course, with Professor Sumdac and his daughter Sari, or even in Robots in the Skies, about 10 years ago with Denny and Russell. But never once, though, there's never really like the parents are the main characters, so to speak, though.
Right.
And so I'm so happy that EarthSpark breaks that tradition. Be like, no, this time the parents are just as important as their kids in that regard.
And they're just as involved. You see Bumblebee and Alex have a thing.
Exactly.
Obviously, Dot and Megan. I feel like each of the human counterparts has their robot buddy, or their
exactly
buddy. Dot and Megs are here. B and Alex are here. The kids have, Mo has Thrash, and Robbie has Twitch, and the Terrans kind of have each other.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, because as a kid, wouldn't that be the coolest thing to have a robot friend?
Absolutely. That's exactly how I feel. But anyway, with that, where Dot believes in starting to believe in second chances. So then, how do you think Dot reacted at the start of season 2 then, when after, in the year that's passed since Mandroid was defeated, that Starscream decides to lead all the Decepticons, and they betray the Autobots and Terrans by trying to steal all the Emberstone shards? Do you think, in that regards, that even after that betrayal, do you think Dot believed that they all, if not at least some of them, could be redeemed? Or do you think at that point, they'd had their second chance, now they gotta face the consequences and go to prison or whatever?
I think as the series unfolds, Dot becomes a case-by-case person type of, that she treats it as a case-by-case situation. That came out weird. But I think she learns to kind of take the person as an individual and their actions. And I'm willing to bet money that during their time in the Cybertronian War, Megatron shared some stories with Dot about Starscream. So I think she kind of side-eyes him like, oh, now you're going to be helpful.
And it's so true like that, because especially in the episode in season 1 when Starscream is down in the tunnels with all the Terrans and all that, it's Megatron's like the one who's always like, oh, Starscream's down there, oh no, we gotta go down there and stop him, like he can't be trusted, he's dangerous. And I think that speaks volumes where Megatron, prior to that, he was with Soundwave trying not to like, hey, listen, Soundwave, I don't want to fight you. Don't make this personal. Like, I don't want to, like, you can like stay in hiding. I don't want. But then with Starscream, though, he's actively wanting to make sure he stays imprisoned. And so I think
Starscream, we all know Starscream is a good but that's what we love about him. And shout out to Steve Bloom. Iconic. But yeah, it's one of those, case by case, but history has a way of repeating itself if you're not careful, kind of thing.
Absolutely. So now this next question, this is we've talked about Dot's relationship with all of her kids, but there is one more, and that's hashtag. And there is a scene that Dot has as hashtag in season 2 that is one of easily top 3 favorite Dot moments in the entire show, and it's the episode in season 2 where hashtag is trying to get a new alt mode for herself. And so after an incident where hashtag nearly drives herself off a cliff in the rain, she opens up, she has a little talk with Dot where like she's like getting all like the mud out of her wheels and all that about
yes.
And so hashtags like venting to her about like the struggles of picking new alt mode. She says that there's just so many things I want to have. And then Dot says,
you can be anything you want, hashtag, but you can't be everything.
Yes, and I that
Decide
line
what matters to you and save the rest for your next alt mode. Just know your family's going to love you no matter what you decide.
You can be anything you want, hashtag, but you can't be everything. Decide what really matters to you and save the rest for your next alt mode.
That line exactly that's top 3 Dot-isms, I think. I just think that's just so evocative of how Dot sees all of her children, that they all can be anything they want to be. But the line, but you can't be everything, I think that just speaks volumes also. Like, yes, there may be a lot of these things that you want in your alt mode, but it's more so that want versus need, you know? Think about what you really need in your alt mode versus what you want. But I think that the line where she says, save the rest for your next alt mode, I like that. It almost feels like where she's kind of encouraging hashtag, hey, you might not get it right with this alt mode, but if you don't, that's okay. You can always, there's never like, you have as many tries as you want until you're satisfied with who you are. And I think,
remember, Megatron changed his alt mode.
Exactly. And that's like a big part in the episode where Jawbreaker's interviewing him, where that is how he got Optimus to trust him, by giving up his Cybertronian alt mode to take on that Earth helicopter. So,
Which said a lot.
And I think it's a really good episode because I just love how it really feels like this is hashtag like really finding herself after when she picked her ghost alt mode in season 1. It was more so she just wanted to do it so she'd go back home and watch more YouTube videos.
You want a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. And so having her now like where she's really like, like this is what I actually want in it now. It's not because it was kind of an accident that I picked the ghost one. I just think that speaks volumes. And it, again, similarly to how I mentioned with Jawbreaker's talk with Elite about how him like saying that like he feels broken because he doesn't feel anything when he looks at cars.
Such beautiful writing.
Hashtags or Dot mentions that like you can be anything you want, but you can't be everything. Decide what matters to you. That to me at least almost sounds like like a parent trying to encourage like a child maybe who's doing like a little discovery of like their gender identity almost where they're not sure like if they identify with one gender more than another, and so like using alt mode as sort of an idiom for that, I think is really, really powerful. And to show that I just love how EarthSpark is tackling all of these very deep and mature subjects, but also in a very heartwarming way.
I mean, we're kind of watching Transformer adolescence, you know?
Yes, exactly.
We never got to see an awkward Megatron. We know about Orion Pax, or excuse me, awkward Optimus Prime. We know of Orion Pax. He mentions it in the series when he's telling the kids about the Matrix, but we don't get to see, you know, Megatron with acne or you know what I'm saying? We don't get to see them. By the time we see them, they're fully realized heroes or villains. They're fully in control of whatever identity they've identified with. So the fact that these Terran robots are tied to humanity in a way that they still developed similarly was really clever because, to your point, it allows you to address multiple issues and or situations that come up in adolescence. It's a very tricky time because, you know, on one hand, your body's doing stuff. Another hand, the world sees you differently now because your body's doing stuff, but your mind hasn't quite caught up to what your body's doing. It's a lot to take on. And while all of this, while you're trying to save the world, you're trying to protect your family, you're trying to keep your identity quiet. It's a lot to balance for anyone. That's why when Dot says, just decide what matters to you. This is your life. This is your incarnation. However, this is what you need to decide. We love you regardless. We love the individual. How you choose to show up is I got a prosthetic leg. Alex has a bumblebee suit. This is just, I know I'm trivializing it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
totally
making light of it, but I'm not trying to make light of it.
Absolutely,
it's one of those things where you get to pick your accessories. You get to pick, I can't tell you how to be hashtag. Only hashtag can do that.
Now, you mentioned like how we never got to see like a awkward like Orion Pax or Optimus Pax, but that's actually something that also really interests me with at least in the start of EarthSpark, how Dot has such a good like camaraderie with Megatron, but at least at the start of the series, her relationship with Optimus is honestly really strained and awkward. And of course,
she's not a fan.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
Not a fan.
And so I think Dot says it best when she's talking to Megatron about like I'm sure you know the line. It's the line stuff like you can go ahead and try it if you want, but
can you cue me in?
It's I can't prove, but this is the one. I just know Megatron says something and Dot says like Optimus
always sees the bright side, even when there isn't one.
Yes, she says it with such like almost like she's annoyed, like she's gonna throw up by saying it. So,
you know what's funny in the audition, in the callback before I got the call that this was before I knew any of that, there was if I'm remembering it correctly, there was a monologue that Dot has that she's delivering to what we now know to be Megatron. And she says this line where, oh gosh, let's see if I can remember it. I'm gonna use the prop. I'm gonna switch the names out because he wasn't known as Optimus in the script. He was called Mac, like the Mac stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So how does Optimus do it? You look at him, he's always charging ahead, sure that he's doing the right thing. But his decisions have consequences and we'll be feeling them for centuries. So I'm sorry if I can't join the Optimus trust train. But at least you think through your choices, even when they're the hardest thing in the world. I hope I didn't pique your light.
No, that all came through, and I am floored, because that's literally my next question. I was gonna say like, oh, is there a reason why Dot like is so like not a big fan of Optimus? Like,
He's reckless. He doesn't think. He's so busy trying to be the hero that he doesn't realize that he destroyed 2 towns while trying to take out the bad guy. I'm all about taking out Dot's all about taking out, listen to me, Dot's all about taking out the bad guy, but we can do this a smarter way where we don't have to endanger people. This isn't your home. You don't come into someone else's home, trampling it all and messing it all up because you guys have your own beef going on. You don't get to do that. This is my home, sir. Wipe your feet. You know, that's the
wow. So, and I guess in terms, so that was like one of your audition lines that you had with
Yes, it was. And I the reason why I still remember that was because when I did the callback, they gave us the sides ahead of time, and I tried to commit as much to memory in case I got nervous. And it turns out I remember more than I thought. I'm sure the words aren't perfect, but it was something along those lines.
That is incredible. Like that's one of my biggest questions I had for years as to like, why does Dot like have just such a like disdain for him at the start of the series? And now I know, and wow, like honestly, and especially having seen Transformers 1 now with how D16 the Megatron just is so fed up with Optimus being so reckless and not thinking things through, and I'm like, wow, it's so crazy.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
It's so, and I guess like, and then that also like begs the question too, like another thing I had where because when Dot has a conversation with Mandroid after he kidnaps her and Megatron, and he's talking to her about like, oh, you served in the war, didn't you? And then
I judge someone. I judge someone by their actions, not their prosthetics. That
yes.
one.
I judge a person by their actions, not their prosthetics.
Exactly, yeah, because she says like, oh, I was part of the Battle of the Bay, and then Mandroid says, oh, well, then you must remember the Autobot friendly fire incidents that occurred at that.
And then she shows him like, I think that's when we first see her prosthesis, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the first time it's like drawn to the
audience. Because she wears shorts during, I think, the family
the family game night episode. Yeah,
the game night episode, and you see it, but you don't see it. You see the sleeve that goes.
You can see a little bit of the prosthetic, and I caught that on a rewatch. Like, wow, they actually showed it like here for a split second before they actually like draw attention to it. So when I saw that, I'm like, wait, hold. Like when I saw like she actually revealed her prosthetic like the first time watching, I'm like, wait, was that there the whole time? Or like did I just not notice it? So I think that's such a cool reveal as well that we didn't know from the start that she had that prosthetic leg.
Right.
So it's a really cool thing there, but that's like what I'm wondering with the Autobot friendly fire. So is it implied that like was it ever said outright to you, maybe like during development, that like it was Optimus's decisions that caused what happened there for like you mentioned though earlier that it was the Seekers that caused Dot to lose her leg, but was it like maybe Optimus's like brashness that maybe got Mandroid to lose?
It's very possible that it was Optimus. And the only hint I got that Dot had smoked for Optimus was that line in the audition.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, I didn't know that this was Optimus. I didn't know this was Megatron. I just knew that this character had smoke for this one and had respect for that one. And it was my job as the actor to figure out why, so that when I read it, everybody understood where she stood and, you know, the dynamic between the two of them. Because Dot's with the eye roll and the that was improv, by the way.
I also love also how like disdain she is when Optimus in a few other like episodes later when Optimus sort of like puts her through ghost orientation and he's doing like the speech and she literally just like closes her eyes like this, looking so like
cringe.
Yeah, she's cringing so hard.
Oh gosh, we couldn't be ghosts without your spirit.
Yeah, we wouldn't be without your spirit. And then, and then Optimus.
I remember actually saying that in the booth, going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
and like yes, perfect.
I just love how much of like a cringy dad Optimus is in this show. Like especially, I'm sure everyone told you how much they love this scene when Dot and Alex are with Robbie and Mo trying to find Twitch and Thrash and Android, and then she's texting Megatron, and of course Optimus sends all the emojis.
That's kind of why I do it now when I engage with people, fans of the show or whatever on social media. I always do like an insane amount of. I always do the same 3 emojis.
Yeah,
you've seen it.
Yeah.
The heart hands, the robot face,
robot head. Yeah. Somebody's got to stop his emoji abuse.
Says the emoji queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love Megatron's willing to, he's like, the robot head gets me every time or something like that.
That's why I started doing it. It's been like my little inside joke with folks who know the series. Because Mo actually says that Mom just told us not to go home with no emojis. So it's serious.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my god. Yeah, that's great. I love that scene so much. Now another scene that I really liked with Dot. This is another top 3. It's towards the end of season 1 where Dot has her big confrontation with Agent Croft when she comes into her house, and I got a first shout out. I believe your Dot's fight with Croft is like one of the most tense, but also best human. No, it's okay.
Sorry. I'm trying to get the charger to charge, and I have one of those magnetic ones.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right, but yeah, Dot's like conversation with Croft, leading into like their fight inside the house. It's so tense, but it made me jaw drop like how vile of a villain Croft is, because like she represents, like, I think she's so well represents like sadly very evil people that are in our world today, and to have that kind of like stuff shown in a kids show is crazy. I think one of my favorite lines that's like really drives the point across is when Croft is talking to Dot and Alex trying to make small talk, and she sees the picture of her with Megatron, and she's like, "Oh, you Maltos are really like well integrated with the Cybertronians, aren't you? I can see why Optimus recommended you for Ghost."
You Maltos have strong connections to the Cybertronians. Is that why Optimus Prime himself recommended you?
He understands there's more than meets the eye. He values that.
I understand there's more than meets the eye. He values that.
And then
was that the line?
Yeah, that was the line. That was the line.
Okay.
And so
I'll tell you this: when Dale told me I got to say that line, I almost lost it. I'm like, I get to say the thing.
Like, Sam, like someone has to say this line, like in the show. Like I know Optimus says it in like the first episode, but like we need to hit like a quota of like at least three times per season. I'm glad that Dot got to say it.
I'm glad Doc got to say it, and I'll tell you something else. I was begging them to make a Tin Man and Dorothy joke somewhere in there, and they never did.
Oh no! Oh, that would have been so sweet.
The way Megatron says, he barely calls her Dot. He always says Dorothy.
Yes.
And it's like he's the only person that it's him and it's Alex that can do that, and she'll not raise an eyebrow. She's always even B. She's like, you can call me Dot. You know, but it's all right, Dorothy. I'm like, it's Tin Man and Dorothy. Can someone like say the thing? And they never did.
Oh, that makes me so. That's the other thing. It makes me so sad. Like when Croft like puts on like the Energon thing that like takes over all things, and you see Megatron falling in clutches, and he reaches out begging like for Dot to help him out, and oh, that was so. But the scene that really is like jaw dropping for me is when Alex, quote unquote, leaves to go pick up the kids from a friend's house. And so he leaves only to have all the ghost agents out there arrest him. But then Dot's like, "Oh, I'm dying to meet your children. Like, I'll pick her up." And then, but as he leaves though, that's when she says to Dot, "Oh, but you don't have just two, do you?" And then the line she says after that, Kari Walgren. Like, it's so funny because I got to meet Kari Walgren at a con last year. Yeah, she's such a sweet person in reality. I got to talk to her about as Croft. It was so sweet. But the line she says there gives me chills, where she's like, "Don't you realize what we do? We can't have undocumented robots running loose." And then when she said that undocumented robots, my jaw was like,
"Don't you realize what we do? We can't have undocumented robots running loose."
Like, no, they did not just go there. I'm like,
oh, but they did.
Yeah, and I'm like,
they did.
Yeah, no, I think that cements, honestly, like, I love Mandroid, but I really think Croft is probably the best human villain the Transformers franchise has ever had. Just to have her be so unabashedly bigoted towards Cybertronians, it's crazy. And to have that terminology used in EarthSpark, especially in this climate, is crazy. And then, of course, Dot gets a great clapback where Crofty 2 is saying, "Here's my offer. Either you wear these and join Ghost, or you'll never see your family again."
You better get out of my house.
Either your bots wear these and join Ghost, or you'll never see your family again.
You better get out of my house.
Yes, and then, oh my god, and that's me. And like, I was watching that episode with some of my friends, and we were all going crazy where we were like, "Yes, Dot, yes, tell her off, tell her, give her the smoke." And then the whole fight with them in the house using, I love the part where Dot goes to punch Croft, and Croft uses the frying pan as a shield, and then that was so it's just like that perfect mix of like whoa, they're going there, but also like a kind of slapstickiness with Dot like slamming the fridge.
Her in the face with the
fridge door. Yeah, like, I'm like, wow, like, I didn't think that, like, but also it was so cathartic seeing Dot like beat up Croft like that. I'm like, yes, get her, and I'm like, oh, the most satisfying moments in the whole show was seeing that.
That was a big one for me too, because I was like, that was such a cool scene, and it was so like, I got to see the rough cut of it. When we were doing some pickup stuff, and they showed me a little snippet of the animation. I'm like, oh my god, they get to fight!
Yeah, I saw the storyboards. One of the storyboard animators who storyboarded that scene posted it on one of their websites, and so I put it in one of my reviews. And the storyboards, and it's so awesome seeing the work that goes into these fight scenes.
Gosh, I love one of my favorite sequences as well. I mean, there were so many good fights, but the fight where the Seekers come in and then
yes.
All right.
It's that's like arguably like I think that's the highlight of like action in the entirety of EarthSpark is that. But now let's go ahead. We're gonna go into some spoiler territory specifically for these last 2 episodes of EarthSpark. So it's been a month since these episodes came out, but starting off with one I want to bring attention to since we're on the topic of Croft. In Hometown Heroes, we're introduced to that fact that Croft had a daughter, Olive, and I think Ryan Bartley played her really well, and it's cool to see how she and her friend Hoagie, how their lives were impacted by the Malto's actions over the course of the show, and how Robbie's like been misusing his powers, like kind of treat himself as like, oh, I'm this big time celebrity that like can do no wrong or whatever. And then it gets to the point though that one point I'm wondering is the scene when Olive and Hoagie go to harass Robbie with Mo there, and so Robbie, feeling threatened, activates his cyber suit and breaks down a lamppost that ends up hitting his car and nearly hit him. So that's when Schloeder comes in. He takes like someone else's video that like filmed the whole thing, but conveniently leaves out the part where Hoagie pushed Robbie at first. And so then when Schloeder brings in Robbie and Mo back home and Dot and Alex are chastising him, I will say, like, I am kind of shocked though that, like, I understand like when the video and all that Dot like is disappointed in Robbie and she lectures him on like misusing his powers. But even when Mo comes in and says like, I know it looks bad, Mom, but it's not true. Hoagie was like, the video doesn't show it. Hoagie was attacking Robbie first. He was defending himself. I'm wondering like still though, even with that, Dot doesn't take her son's side in that argument. She still believes that he was in the wrong. So I'm wondering if you maybe have like sort of a explanation perhaps as to why Dot was still like unsure, like not trusting Robbie in that regards.
I think, that's a really good question. Dot had to come to terms with a lot of things that she was wrong about throughout the course of the series. She's had to come to terms with her own implicit biases when it came to Autobots and Decepticons, and also with Optimus, because remember in the beginning, she's like, you're reckless. You're going to mess up my house. Stop messing up my house. And now here's Witwicky, and Witwicky's blown to smithereens, and it's partially because of her and her family. So there's a little bit of guilt with that. You know, here I am, like, who am I to tell this person that they can't do what they're doing and I'm doing the same thing? The hypocrisy of it all,
that is true,
kind of messes with her a little bit. It's like, look, I can't talk. These other kids don't have magic powers. You know, they don't have Cybertronian sleeves. You do. I can't expect, I didn't raise them. So I don't know what to expect from them. I raised you. So you have to being a leader isn't fun. It isn't all fun and games. It isn't, you know, you get to show off your pew-pew to your friends. It's more to it than that. Absolutely. You know, we are saving lives. We got to, and my theory is that Dot didn't feel like Robbie was taking it serious enough.
That is true.
Because if you weren't careful, you wouldn't be in a position where you would knock over a lamppost and break this boy's car.
That is true. That is true.
There's a little bit of I get it, but you kind of have to be, you got to think, honey.
That is true.
You can't just run into stuff.
And I do think that Dot even like tells Robbie that, like, even later on when after they've defeated Mandrill, they've got the space bridge back up, Robbie thinks like, oh, so I'm off the hook now, but then Dot's like, nah, you still wrecked that hot dog stand on the way in and like you still miss powers, like, so consider this community service for like to watch over the space bridge while, but
it was kind of a backpedal a little bit. I did kind of go, wait a minute, like, isn't she the same one that said that's my baby, go get him, child, when you know, when Nightshade was giving tarantulas business? Like, where's that? Where's the action, Mom? But I think exactly that's where that toggle switch again of going soldier mom, she figured, you know what, let me lean into the mom of it all. Because I'm raising a soldier. You know, I want him to have a better sense of the world and a better like situational awareness. Like what you do affects other people too.
Yes.
But it was kind of a little bit of a cop out. I'm gonna be real with you.
No, I understand that. Like, several fans and I definitely agree that as well. But one thing I did like though is out that episode when they all go back and leave Robbie and Mo to guard the space bridge, and so Dot is giving the Energon out to Megatron, and she asks him like, "Oh, how come you didn't go back to Cybertron with Optimus?" And Megatron's such a sweet line there that I really cements his and Dot's relationship, where he says, "Oh, I don't like the person I was on Cybertron. I prefer my home here on Earth with your family." And it's so sweet. It's such a sweet line that I think like it's a perfect capstone to their relationship. But then, of course, that makes what happens in the last episode even more tragic. So, no beating around the bush. Towards the end of the episode, we watch Liege Maximo take out Megatron, and me and a close friend of mine who were watching it, big Megatron Optimus fans, we were absolutely like, I was fearing the whole episode. I'm like, oh no, something's gonna happen to Megatron here. Something's gonna happen to it. I just know it. And then it happens. I'm like, ah, and I felt like so heartbroken. And we get to see all the Terrans and Malto sharing that grief. Literally, one of the saddest scenes I think is really good too is Twitch at first, where she's so excited about, oh, we can use the AllSpark to revive him. It's not too late. It's not too late yet. And literally, when you see that it doesn't seem to fix him at first, and then she stops for a second, like Thrash looks sadly, but also like Twitch like holds like a hand up, almost where she's like, just give him some time. He's gonna come up. Like just give him a second. But then it doesn't. And then she, like, that realization hits her face, and then she just breaks down completely, and Thrash hugs her, and it's so heartbreaking. But I think it's great that scene really, we get to see how the three most important people in Megatron's life react to his passing. We get to see Optimus be enraged at Liege Maximo, how Alan Tudyk does such a good job of like spewing that vitriol at Liege, where he's like, you destroyed our world, you killed my best friends, and and then just how empty he feels after that, standing over Megatron's body, thanking him for his sacrifice. And then, of course, Twitch, after that, breaking down. But then, of course, we get, arguably, I think, tied with You Can Be Anything You Want to Be, hashtag, as my favorite dot line, her eulogy to Megatron at the space bridge.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Now that one, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't have that completely committed to memory.
Oh no, I told that's a long one, so I get it.
Well, there's a good reason. When my last day of my very last session of EarthSpark, I recorded that speech.
Oh, that was the last thing you ever recorded as Dot. Oh.
One of the last lines I recorded, the absolute last line, was the line that she says, "I'll always bet on this family." And both of them, I was fighting tears because that was like, dang, I really went on this journey with these kids. I went on this journey with myself, and I proved to myself and to others that it really isn't how you start, it's how you finish. You know, I was a TSA agent, and now here I am working on a legacy series to something I grew up enjoying. And that whole full circle moment hit me, because then I recognized what was going to, I got the script and everything. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh God, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Oh no. Because I was reliving the trauma of when Optimus died in the movie.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, and I got to say that, what? Oh gosh. Like, how am I going to do this? And much like a lot of these powerful scenes, I cried. There were tear stains on my script. I'm standing in Nickelodeon, and Dale, one of the executive producers, is sitting across and he's watching me do this, and Christy's on the monitor, and I'm reading it, and the tears are streaming, but I gotta be the soldier. I read it 3 or 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, and the one that they ended up keeping was the one where I think I cried the least, because I had to be the soldier. But at the very, very, very end of that, when she says, we'll bring you home to rest in peace, that was when you can kind of hear the
I heard your voice breaking a little bit there. And yeah, absolutely. I think that's like, what a perfect, like, almost final, like, capstone for your performances, Dot. Like, if you were to have a final line in the series, that's an amazing one to go out on. Arguably your best performance this entire show.
Thank you. So now I'm really mad that I can't remember. I'm trying to go through the Rolodex in my head, trying to remember. I don't know. And sometimes, wait, I think I got it. And sometimes doing the right thing comes at a terrible cost. It's what brought, oh God, what was it? Dang it. It was like, it's what brought Megatron
into our family.
Into our family. It's how he leaves us now?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I got it. Thank you. Line? No. Wait, let me see. And sometimes doing the right thing comes at a terrible cost. It's what brought Megatron into our family. It's how he leaves us now. Goodbye, my friend. We'll bring you home to rest in peace.
Standing up for what's right has a terrible cost. It's what brought Megatron into our family, and it's how he leaves us now.
Goodbye, my friend. We will bring you home to rest in peace.
Something like that.
That's exactly it, word for word. You got it.
Oh, bless you, because I was really trying.
Literally hearing it out of your mouth just now. I'm getting choked up all over again. It's
honey.
It's so good. But
Thank
yeah.
you.
So, how long did you have to keep that in to yourself, knowing that was gonna happen? Were you sitting on this for like a year, months?
Just a couple of months, because that was when they told us that we wouldn't be renewed, and that was the end of the end of the end, and they're giving us a conclusion. It was all this stuff that happened. I don't want to get into that, but we got a conclusion. Yay!
Yes, exactly.
And I'm honored. Actually, I took it as a huge honor to be one of the ones to read because they know what this meant to me. I was a huge fan of the series of Transformers before I figured out that that's what this was. And so when I realized that that's what this was and that I'm a whole original character, it was like, dang, okay, no pressure. And once I realized that this isn't about pressure, it's just about performance and about telling this amazing story with these amazing storytellers, all of that went out the window. And I got to lean into that moment with everything I had. And I'm thankful that it's, in the history books or whatever.
I think I speak for everyone that you've certainly cemented yourself in this franchise. I think absolutely everyone will look back fondly on EarthSpark, and especially Dot as a character, because large in part because of your performance.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Connecting with the fans was such an unexpected blessing. I didn't know I would have fans. I was just happy to have a job. And to be at this place where, this character has a history, and there's people who really connect with it and connect with the series as a whole, because it's such a good series.
It is.
It's very surreal, and it's such my inner child is just beaming with pride. Like, we did it.
Yes, exactly.
We did it. We didn't let them, break us down.
Yeah, exactly.
Take away our dreams. We kept it, and we made it work. But I was honored that they let me be part of it. They jokingly call me the unofficial ambassador of the show.
Aww.
And okay, I'll take that. I'll take that mantle proudly, because I'm proud of the team, the crew, the creative people, the folks who do the background. Like, so many loving hands touched this project. So many people sacrificed their time, their energy to put this together for all of us to enjoy. And I can't give them enough credit, because we did this during strikes. We did this during fires. We did this during a pandemic. It's the little show that could.
Yeah, it's literally like you had the whole world against you almost with this show. And despite that, you and everyone else pushed through it. You saw it through to the end, and I think you all should be very, very proud of that.
Thank you. I am, and I hope they are too. I'm so proud of the team. They really went hard.
So I guess now just last few questions. So of course, though, thankfully Megatron does come back, but not everything's as it seems, where sadly he lost his memories and he presumably runs off back to Earth, but Dot and everyone else is certain that they can be able to bring Megatron back to his senses. So I think that's one of my favorite lines is with Twitch and Dot, where Twitch is like, "Oh, don't worry, Optimus, I can get Megatron back. I just know I can." And then, like you said, with Dot, where she says, like, "Oh, getting the old Megs backs won't be easy, but I'll always bet on
this family." Yeah.
So, do you think Dot has full confidence that she and her family would be able to get Megatron back to his old self?
If there's anybody with a fighting chance, it's the Maltos. You don't mess with the Maltos. Dot recognizes that Megatron saved her life. And there is something that happens with people who've seen combat or any kind of trauma together, that there's almost this responsibility or this it's hard to describe it, but they have this connection that only people who've seen the roughest of the rough have.
Yes. And
losing him again would have it gutted. You saw how hard Optimus took it.
Exactly.
And Doc only got to see a little portion of that. And so the fact that they're all like, if anybody can pull them out of that, I know I'm repeating myself, but I mean this. If anybody can pull them out of it, it would be Optimus, Twitch, and Dot. And I really would have liked to have seen some of just something.
I wanted to see like is that we get to see like a few of the Terrans and Optimus's initial reactions to Megatron being taken out, but we don't get to see that for Dot. I would have loved to see like, how do you think Dot like would have reacted in that like exact moment? Do you think she would have been like immediately angry, full soldier mode? Do you think she would have been like super heartbroken, trying to keep it in for her family? Or how do you think she was like in that moment?
When he passed, or
yes,
when
he passed, yeah.
Well, she met him as a soldier, and part of serving in combat is you not everybody comes back. And when somebody that saved your life is no longer with you, there's a little bit of survivor's guilt, I think, that comes with that. That's my theory. I haven't experienced it. This is just observational.
Yeah.
And you want your team to stay together.
Absolutely.
You've seen so much. You don't want something like this to take them away from you. That's why when, you know, the whole, the battle with Robbie and he didn't get the shards. No, but your team is alive. It's like, no, we can live to fight another day.
Exactly.
We can figure out another way. You know, I'd rather us be together regrouping than trying to, you know, and so I think, well, I can tell you how Benni felt in the book. Benni was in tears.
I bet.
Benni was in tears because it was like, no, her buddy died. Her best buddy died. I felt I was mourning for her.
Yeah.
Dot was like, I know that this is a part of war, but I hate that this was on my watch. I hate that it had to happen while I got to know this side of him.
Absolutely.
And I can't let that go. I can't just, he's in there somewhere. If I can help him remember a little bit of that, then that's fine. But he's in there somewhere. I know him. And yeah. I don't know if she really, because the toggle. The
mom and soldier, right?
Yeah. The soldier's like, hey man, soldiers die. We have to, you know, give him his dignity and his honor. And that was one of the takes that they went with. The one where I was just less teary, more like soldier. Like, no, dignity, honor. You died in combat. Thank you, my friend. We will honor you, you know, forever. But there was a line that ended up getting omitted. I'm trying to remember what it was. When Megatron comes back.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's like, oh, yay, he made it. Everyone's partying. And then he turns his cannon on them.
Yep.
And why did I do that? That was very
No, it's all right.
Too much time is Seraphine. But when he comes back, he's like, what are you doing here? Da, da, da. And Dot says something along the lines, hey, it's me. It's me. It's me, buddy. Remember? Your friend, you're da da da. It's okay. Hey, we're not gonna attack you. You're fine. You got injured and you know, like da da. She treated it as shock or like PTSD.
Yes.
That was her first reaction. Initially, like treating it like a soldier, like coming out of a traumatic experience. She's ready to talk him down, and he's like, "And if you follow me, it's curtains." Da 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 da.
And just runs away.
Make us run away or whatever. But I think she would have been. I hope I'm not deviating too far from the question, but I think that she wants her buddy back.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
So, and you think that like with the rest of her family, especially with her Twitch and Optimus, that they wouldn't be able to do that?
I think so.
All right.
Because she changed his mind the first time.
Yeah,
she was the only one that could.
She did it once. I have no doubt that, especially with Optimus and Twitch this time, she could do it again.
Yeah, that's the hope. Because that's his little bird.
Exactly. Oh, that I get choked up every little single time that he calls her that.
Little bird. Like, I love how they wrote him because he's still badass. He's relentless. But he's such a little marshmallow.
Yeah,
like,
no, he is with her.
Megatron.
He's like, he's got like, badass war hero Megatron, and then you got like, little Uncle Megatron having fun with his kids, his nephews, and nieces.
With his nieces and nephews, and him and Dot, just drinking some brews, reminiscing about the old days. Like it was, you bought you bought that relationship. You bought it. And I was joking that she was sitting on his shoulder like a deadly little parrot with a laser.
Oh my god, that's such a cute way to think about it, honestly.
Yeah, she's the angel on his shoulder.
I love that so much. Just a few more, just like 2 rapid fire questions, just so we end things off. First off, I gotta ask, since we've talked a lot about things I've enjoyed as you playing Dot over the years, what is your favorite thing with Dot throughout EarthSpark, whether it be like an episode that you did, a line, anything?
Ooh, favorite thing? I mean, how much time do you have?
As much as you need.
No, well, just a couple of moments. I got to do my first Comic-Con panel, and it was a dream of mine to do Comic-Con. I told myself I would never do Comic-Con unless I was on a series, and it finally happened, and I got to panel in San Diego. And I got to do my first TFCon and got to meet like fans of EarthSpark proper, and they were bringing me gifts and showing me their pictures. One, I call them my sweet sparks. I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's what I prefer.
It's adorable. I love that.
Isn't it? It was a nickname that one of the fans told me that they call each other in the Transformers community, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can I say that? Or
in the Transformers community, like people when they have like their ships, like it's seen as like an affectionate, like even I think in some of the comics too, they even call each other like Sweet Spark.
Yes, and I started saying that at these conventions. I'm like, you guys are my little sweet sparks. I don't know what I'm gonna call fans of Seraphine, but we'll figure it out.
We'll see. You got some time before season 1 comes out.
I kind of landed on Papillon, which is little butterfly.
That's sweet. I like that.
Yeah, I had to dig into my French for that one, and that was a whole other thing. But yeah, going to Comic-Con, going to TFCon, meeting the fans face to face, seeing all their wonderful artwork. One fan of mine, sweet soul, did a comic book rendering of Dot.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you got to experience that.
I was into. There's been a couple of moments. Another Sweet Spark fan who's so kind. She brought this huge book of like Transformer lore. And there's a video of it somewhere on my Instagram where she's like, you open it up and it's like the Autobot insignia, and you
I think it's the Covenant of Primus, I think it's called.
Yes. Yes, and then as I opened it, I saw Peter Cullen and I saw Frank Welker, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that Peter Cullen? And she goes, yes, I want you to sign this. And I was like,
oh,
because these are my heroes too. And to be seen in a similar vein as them, it blew my mind. So I'm fighting tears, trying not to cry, and Sweet Soul's book, just signing it, going blind with tears and mascara. Like, here I go. Now, where do you want me to sign? Oh, thank you. Oh, you get to see this. Okay, so thank you. This is the comic book render.
Oh, that's so cute having her do the Rosie Riveter.
Isn't that cute?
That is such
Isn't that the best? Idea. Jeff Frost made this for me. Jeff Frost, if you watch this, thank you, honey.
Oh my,
that is beautiful.
That is adorable. Oh.
And then this one was one of my most prized possessions. This is a Transformer comic signed by the Frank Welker. And I got to meet him at this most recent TFCon that I went to, and I turned into a little kid. Mr. Welker, sir, I just want to say that I've been a fan of yours since I was a kid. Would you please sign this for me? And he goes, sure. Who are you?
I can't imagine how the conversation that went.
I'm on Transformers EarthSpark, and my character's best friends with Megatron, and I'm honored to be a part of this legacy that you created with Peter all these years ago, and blah 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 blah. And he doesn't really do a ton of like stuff, but he wrote your friend on the bottom.
That's so sweet. Hang on, I think it's so funny you mentioned that. If I have it here, I hope I do. Oh yes, I do. So I actually have a print here of all the Transformers Prime like Decepticons, and on it I actually have Frank Welker here in the silver under Megatron.
Let's go!
And then I even have I got Steve Bloom for Starscream, and then David Sobolov for Shockwave as well. That's but then on top of that, Nick Roche also did a EarthSpark, like of all the Maltos and Autobots and Megatron on it. I also have this one, but it's all the Decepticons as well. And currently I only have Steve Bloom there for Starscream and Troy Baker for Shockwave. But
Oh, that is so cool.
and you have Mandroid there with a little arachnamech where Fluffy Ears was in the last one. And
that is so cool. I love those. That is some cool. That is dope as you know that. I'm trying to be nice because you got babies watching.
It's all right. But yeah, that's my dreams to have eventually this the Autobot prints. I said that I got Z to sign last year, and then all those have them signed by the whole cast and crew at some points.
That is so cool.
But yeah, I'm so happy
that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm so happy to hear that like the fandom has been so sweet and welcoming to you. And I was about to say how like any like fun like fandom experiences with fans or cons that you've had. So I'm so happy to hear that you enjoy it.
There's another quick story. My very first TF Con, I was there and I was about to leave, and there was this little black girl. Mm-hmm. Couldn't have been more than maybe 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. Had this huge afro puff. She was so cute.
Oh.
And she's walking by my table, and then she stops. She looks at me. Then she looks at this big banner over my head that says Benni Latham, and then it has a picture of the character I voice. And she stares at me for like a good 5 or 10 seconds. And she goes, "Excuse me, do you do voices?" "Yes, I do." "Do you voice that lady?"
Oh.
"Yes, I do." "Huh. Daddy, this lady do voices and she looks like me."
Oh, that's so sweet.
I tried to hunt that little girl down to give her all that I could give her and couldn't find her. I was so hurt. I'm so hurt. But that right there, if my legacy has anything to do with stuff like that, I'll take it, because somebody did that for me once upon a time. And to know that anything that I'm part of is able to be inspirational in any form, it just, that's what it's about.
Like I said earlier, I think that's such a good feeling, that fact that you perform this person of color who's also disabled and is such a great representation for others that can look up to. People are going to see Dot for years to come, long after, I imagine for several decades now, people are going to look back. So think about you going to TFCon in 10 years, celebrate the 10th anniversary of EarthSpark, see how many new people probably get into the franchise because of EarthSpark even.
That would be a dream come true. I mean, the fact that it's already been almost 5 years here,
yeah,
I can't believe it.
I can't believe, because I still remember 3 years ago, right, working on my reviews of season 1. I'm like, wow, next year it's gonna be the 5-year anniversary. That's crazy. I gotta put together a little big surprise for what I'm gonna do for my 5-year anniversary.
Yours was one of the first videos I started watching, because I was like, people are reviewing this? Oh my gosh. And you went into such detail and you broke down each of the characters, even the stuff that you didn't care for. I was still curious to hear it, because you always had interesting and good reasons why certain things didn't resonate with you. And I was like, okay, people are really watching this. And there was a portion of the fandom, I'll be real with you, that wasn't so kind. There are people, and again, everybody has their favorites, everybody has their picks and their choose. And that's one of the beautiful things about this. You can like a bunch of stuff or not like it at all.
Exactly.
But what I don't care for is when people got mean or bullying and the name calling. I do not.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to like what I do, but you don't have to disrespect me or the people that worked on this.
Absolutely.
You know, people committed their lives to their craft so that they can do stuff like this. If you don't like it, not you personally, but if there are folks that don't care for it, fine. You cannot care for it and still not disrespect and be rude to the people that were part of it. There are lots of shows I don't like, but what I don't do is waste my time going to denigrate the people who worked on those shows. They had to show up for work. You know, they had to audition. They had to work their tails off to get where they. It's not my place to tell them whether it's good or bad. You know?
Yes.
They're actors, they're artists, they're doing what they need to do. Let that be what it is. But the fans who've been kind have been super kind. They have been so sweet and so encouraging, and a lot of them are like, hey, Dot is the only human character that I think would change Megatron, you know? And you did this and you did that, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for that. And, you know, I don't really like that. Okay, well then, have a good day.
Exactly. You can absolutely, you don't have to like everything, but the least you can do is be respectful to those who do. And that's what I try to do with my videos, where at least try to find the positives and everything. Like, even in some EarthSpark episodes I'm not the biggest fan of, you know what I say, well, hey, this is just my opinion. I thought about it. If you like it, you're absolutely welcome to. You're not wrong for liking something that I don't. And even then, I like episodes where I'm not the biggest fans of them, I still find stuff like, hey, at the very least, I really liked this part, or I think Dot's character here was really good, and that's like a good part of it. Never is a point where I'm like, this is a waste of time, like, why did this exist, or something like that, but never.
And even if that's how you felt, you were still very objective about it, which I can appreciate. Because again, I remember watching one of your videos where you had like a different tier system for your favorite episodes, right? There was the S tier and then all the other subsequent tiers. And the ones that you placed in the lower tier, it wasn't, so it was like, hey, you know what, this is more of a filler episode, or this is more of a B plot where they're just doing something for kicks and giggles, like like I can appreciate an opinion that's somewhat supported.
Yes.
You know, versus someone saying it's trash.
Yeah, like if you're gonna say that it's bad, at least say why, instead of just saying like the same like points that like everyone is making on the internet for whatever reason.
I mean, I've seen the racism, I've seen the misogyny, I've seen the anti-trans, I've seen the really mean things they said about my beloved Nightshade, and that's why I'm like, I don't play about any of my children. I don't play about any of the characters, because that means something to somebody. It may not mean something to you, but it means something to somebody, and it's important that they have that. Let them have that. You know, and I've had instances at conventions, again, I'm a big old crybaby, where non-binary people from the non-binary community came to me and came to Z, were like, thank you. The relationship between Dot and Nightshade gave my parents and I permission to have a dialogue about what this means and how I show up.
Absolutely.
You guys made it okay. Thank you. And it's like, shout out to Maycat, because they put Nightshade out there in the ether.
Oh, absolutely.
They are ours to love on as we see fit. And he and Fonte, chef's kiss.
They are such a sweet person.
Such a sweet and so talented. Oh my gosh, so talented. Talent coming out that
so happy to know another person from New Jersey like them. As a fellow Jersey boy.
Fellow Jersey boy, child actor, School of Rock.
Yeah, they were great in School of Rock.
Made me feel old when I found that out. I'm like, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
That's how I feel when I go back and think like, oh, Transformers animated was 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, I'm old.
Oh, don't do that, because I bet you I'm older than you are. Probably by a lot, and I won't say by how much, but it's.
No, it's all right. I'm so glad that you've had a great time with the fandom. But so what about in terms of just playing Dot over the years? Is there a certain like line? I know we talk about a lot of stuff I really liked, but any lines or episodes that you really liked?
Lines and episodes. I know I've mentioned a few of them. The heart outside my chest is one of my favorite lines. The scene between Dot and Thrash was really sweet, because I got to act opposite Zeno Robinson. And
he's such so sweet. I hope I get to meet him one day.
Zeno is a gold star human being. I'll tell you a little quick story about Zeno, and he'll probably will never admit this in a million years, but when I did my first TF convention, I didn't have any merch.
Oh.
I didn't have any headshots. I didn't have anything. Zeno paid money out of his own pocket and printed up prints for me to have. So when I went to TFCon, I had something to sign.
Oh, that's so sweet of him. I really hope I get some. Like, I did see him once, like as part of like a different like anime panel that he was working on.
Oh, he is working.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is working.
Yeah, no, I'm so proud of all the work that he's done. It was literally when I heard he was gonna be Thrash, I'm like, oh, I love this one anime that he was in. So I'm super happy. Yeah, literally, I love him as Hawks in My Hero Academia, and when I heard he was gonna be Thrash, I'm like, and when I saw like the first headshot Thrash, I'm like, that's just Hawks as the Transformer, and I love that, and so
yeah,
and it's so sad though, because the year after, or it was after season 1 came out, he was gonna be at New York Comic Con. I was like, oh, I had that print, I was gonna get him to sign it there. He was there the one day I didn't get a ticket to because I was busy with work that day.
Crap. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm holding out hope I'll get to see him one day.
I hope so too. And he's really just on top of being so talented, he's so nice. And it's beautiful to see that, you know, someone that skilled is that kind of a human being. Didn't have to do that, paid money out of his own pocket and wouldn't let me pay him back.
Oh.
I have tried. But super sweet human. And also the memories I made, getting a chance to record. I'll tell you this fun story. My very first time going into the Nickelodeon studio when everything opened back up. My first day there, I ran into Roger Bumpus.
Mr. Squidward! Oh, that's so cool.
And I was trying not to freak out because he's just there getting his little coffee or whatever, just walking down the hall. And I'm like, excuse me, hi, my name is Benni Latham, and I'm the voice of Momma Malto and Transformers EarthSpark. This is my first day at Nickelodeon, and the fact that I'm meeting you is really cool. Do you mind if I take a picture? You don't have to say anything. I'm not going to ask you to do anything because you're probably drinking tea and you want to get your voice together, but can I please have a picture with you, Mr. Bumpus?
Oh, that's
sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, come on over. We'll get a picture. It's fine.
Oh.
Peace. All right. Well, have a good session. Doo-doo-doo.
That is literally, I won't lie, that's literally how I felt when we started this whole interview game. Like, oh, I'm so talking, like, I literally had to calm myself down before I got on, because I'm like, okay, I can't talk fast, like, because I tend to talk really fast when I get, like, really excited about stuff. And I'm like, no, okay, don't freak out, you gotta be very professional, you gotta, like, this is Momma Dot you're talking to, like, be...
You did good, baby. You did good.
But I'm so glad that you've enjoyed this the whole experience with playing Dot. So with that, do you have any final comments you'd like to say to me, anyone watching?
To all of my sweet sparks far and wide, thank you so much for making this journey a beautiful one. Remember that you can be anything you want, but you can't be everything, but you have to decide what matters to you. Ultimately, this is your life. Live it to the fullest, live it to the best, and don't be afraid to mess up. Sometimes that's where the best lessons come from. You are amazing, you are light, and I adore you. Thank you so much.
I couldn't have said it better. Miss Benni Latham, everyone. Thank you so much for this. It means the world to me that I've loved this series as a fan for so many years, and now here I am talking with the one and only Dot herself, and you've made EarthSpark for me. You are one of the top reasons why this show has been, it's argued to this day, probably my favorite Transformers story across the entire franchise. G1, the Michael Bay movies, the comics, Prime, everything. EarthSpark, to this day, currently is still probably, and will be for probably quite some time, my favorite, like, Transformers show. So thank you for that.
That's a lot to me. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
It is my honor.
Thank you and everyone else involved with the cast and crew for creating this amazing series.
Shout out to them, honey, because I wouldn't have a job without them.
They did. You all did such a fantastic job on the series. You should be so proud, and I would hope one day that you get to come back as Dot, whether it be as we're in a hypothetical season 5. I gotta ask, do we know, since I have this my only chance to, do you know if a season 5 was going to happen? If you can talk about it, if not, that's totally fine.
I don't know. I'll be real with you. Once they told us that we were wrapping things up, I didn't bother to ask any more questions because I didn't want to, I just wanted to see in front of me. I do think that if there were a season 5, that it would hopefully involve the adventures of, Dot and Twitch and the Malto fam trying to bring back Megatron to bring some of his memories back at least. And I also find it interesting that the Emberstone got put back together.
Yeah, Hot Rod has it now.
I thought, and this is a wild thought, but wouldn't it be interesting if the Emberstone chose Dot and she merged with Megatron, and that was how they got his memories back?
Oh, that's a really good idea. I like that. See, I had an idea, like, before season 2 came out, when the Emberstone shattered and, like, healed all the Cybertronians across the world. I thought for sure...
We got the Terran emblem. We finally got a Terran insignia.
I love that.
There's somebody with a tattoo of that. That was freaking cool.
Oh, if I ever was to get one, I would probably get the Terran symbol as well.
Yes.
I also already have I think I have it here. I did get I've been meaning to put this on my car keys. I have a little like Terran like lanyard, mini lanyard that I was been meaning to put on my car keys. I just keep forgetting to.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute. I got a sweatshirt with the family on it. With the first they call Twitch and Thrash the twins, and then they call Nightshade, Jawbreaker, and hashtag the triplets.
Oh,
that's what the fandoms have been called. So I refer to the first two as the twins and the triplets.
Yeah.
But the shirt that I have is only with the twins. It doesn't have the other three. But I have a sweatshirt with that. I bought the DVD.
Oh.
Let me see what else. I have a blanket. I have almost all the toys. Oh gosh, what else? There was something else that I got and then I can't remember it because now I'm on the spot and I can't.
It's all right.
But anyway, but yeah, I go ahead, say words.
No, yeah, I've in the meantime, like just to talk about like EarthSpark stuff we have. I've never been really into like the Transformers toy collecting. But like I remember when I was a little kid, I got when I was like 5 years old, my mom got me a Transformers Armada, Unicron, and Starscream figures. But I loved Transformers Armada as a kid. Though 5-year-old me, I don't know how to transform this big planet-sized Transformer. I got so frustrated with it and started like, I don't like this. I'm never getting a Transformers toy again. And so I swore off the toys for years. And I'm like, I ever like so everyone always asks me like, oh, why don't you get any toys? I'm like, oh, like I think they're cool, just though I don't have the patience to learn how to transform them back and forth. Sure enough, though, I got gifted EarthSpark Bumblebee figure, but for this contest I entered for the video game that came out a few years ago.
I remember the video game, and I was really upset they didn't have Dot.
Right? And like, I'm glad Dot, Alex, and Robbie, Mo, and Alex at the beat. But where's Dot? And they just say, oh, she's off with Megatron doing recon. I'm like, sure.
I'll tell you something funny. At the first Comic-Con that we did during the strike of all times, I met the Hasbro team. And I got to play some of the Expedition game. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, cool. I get to see all the other, where's Dot? And they all just kind of looked at me like,
oh no. Oh no.
We want you to know that we really love your character. And I said, I know that. I love her too. I just want to know why she's missing. And they were like, you get the look of sheer fear on their face. Now, I was so new, I didn't realize that I was supposed to just say, oh, what a nice game, and then walk away. But I made them uncomfortable. I was like, how are you going to have the one person with military training not in a military exercise? Do you see how that's weird?
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
And he's not there. And so after that, I remember Dale and Aunt kind of going in the back like, oh God, oh God, oh gosh, oh no.
Oh no.
And I'm like, no, I'm not going to make it a thing. But she should be there.
Oh, absolutely. I wholeheartedly
And when we got back to, we were getting prepared to do some more press, Dale and Aunt tapped me on the shoulder and they go, hey, thank you for saying that because we were thinking the same thing. They made this when we were in the middle of production. We didn't really know until they finished it and they showed us the finished product and we were like, oh, there's no Dot. Okay. But because you didn't really have a whole lot to do with this, you could say what we were feeling. So thank you. I'm like, no, you're welcome. I'm not trying to be a brat, but it's just like,
I totally understand
logistically, it makes no sense.
Yeah, from what I heard, I heard like people were asking like some of the other writers about the game, and apparently they didn't even know that the game was being worked on until they actually announced that the game was coming out.
Exactly. So, and they were like, if we had input, believe us, we would have made mention of Dot and made it.
Absolutely.
And that was before. And then I think the question was asked, well, did you guys even watch the show? And then it was this. We're big fans of your character.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. But again, glad that there's stuff out there for it. Thankful that they're toys. I mean, I wasn't really a toy person myself. I was gifted some from Hasbro, thankfully. And that was really sweet and kind and cool. I feel like you were asking me another question. I went off tangent
Oh,
again.
no. It was I was more so just saying like the other like some because I got Bumblebee. Then I was at another con just this past October at New York Comic Con, and I decided to go with my partner to I took my partner with me this time because they live in Indiana. So I flew them out to New York to come with me. It was their first New York Comic Con, so it was great getting to have them there. And so when they're really into like the Transformers toys, we went to like this, and I see like, oh, is that an EarthSpark Megatron toy? I see. Oh, I'm like I gotta get that. So I go there. Then a few days later, I'm going to my local comic store every week to pick up my weekly Void Rivals and Transformers comics, and I see like they sell like Transformers toys there sometimes, and I see on the shelf an EarthSpark Starscream toy. I'm like, well, now I gotta get that too. So I think I'm gonna kind of make it my mission to at least get all the Terrans as toys.
Oh, that would be really sweet of you. Thank you for that. I know I'm saying thank you like they're actually my children, but I feel that way in a way. I feel very maternal over them, and also of other fans of the series who are defending it and get unnecessarily treated poorly by other people who like the show. And it's like nobody says anything to y'all about the series that you like let people live and enjoy what they want to.
Absolutely.
It's not hurting you if they like this. It doesn't take money out of your pocket or a second off your life if someone likes something that you don't like. I did not mean for that to rhyme.
Yeah. Being kind is free,
it's still free in this economy if you can believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Your business. you could go on with your life and never say a word to the people who are part of it and live a full and beautiful life without having to lower your vibration and be mean for no reason. Thank you for saying it costs you nothing to be kind, and it costs even less to mind your business.
Exactly. Well, on that note, I think we can end here. Thank you again so much, Ms. Latham, for this. It's been a pleasure getting to talk to you about EarthSpark and just your journey as an actress and everything.
The pleasure again is all mine. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone listening and watching. Thank you all for being part of my journey. If I see you out there, shout me out. I'm around. But thank you. Thank you again for creating such a beautiful environment for me to be part of. You and the fans help make this even more special.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, that's going to be from us. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Would you like to sign us off, Ms. Latham?
Till all are one.
Yep, till all are one.